Who's best pony?
Yeah, we know.
Who's best princess?
We know.
I am. What? I'm princess in here.
Hey,
Okay?
hey,
Yo.
at least you were color coordinated this time around.
Well, it's all about being fashionable, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, what am I, a fashion mook?
Evening,
Hello.
folks. Hopefully.
Heretic, lunatic, Nezumi.
Thank you, Auntie. Picked this one up a while ago. I figured I'd start getting you guys some new shirts, so you have something else to look at during the stream besides my stable of existing ponies. So hopefully tonight things will be a little bit more stable than a couple weeks ago. For all you folks who stuck through that, thank you very much.
You guys are tough.
At break, we may be doing something a little bit, trying something a little trick. Maybe make things even stronger than they were. But we're nailing things down on our end, and hopefully Picardo will hold up its end of the bargain.
We will find out.
Yep, we shall.
You're good, Sonny. You're
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, well, I thank some people right now because I know there's some new folks in the stream. Time 146. You know, welcome. Saber, welcome. So.
Anybody else that's new? Sing out. We'll point at you on the
Say
thing
hi.
there.
Yep.
Yeah, because we see you right there.
Yeah, exactly. Now, just for you new folks, I'm Baron Engel, and this guy over here is Caradwen, and he's the guy who basically sits behind the scenes and makes all of this technology work, and he also tends bar.
Yeah, I play keyboards. They look like this.
Yeah.
So speaking of tending bar, say tonight's booze. We always start with a cocktail because Baron's brain works a little bit better when it's lubricated. Is one we've made before. It's called the Sidecar.
It's an excellent cocktail.
It's good for you. It has a lot of lemon juice.
Exactly,
Ooh,
vitamin C.
Dang right. So it's actually a fairly simple one to make. So first thing we do.
By the way, Leg, no, we're fine. We are hundreds of miles away from that fire. We're 300 plus. Now, the smoke is actually getting all the way up to here, but then again, I saw a satellite photo NASA had taken, and the smoke plume goes 500 miles offshore, and you could just see the fires burning from orbit. They didn't have to do any kind of fancy enhancement or anything like that. You could just see them burning.
Exactly. Actually, somebody, the astronauts in the International Space Station have a Twitter feed.
Yeah.
And somebody said, "Can you see the fires from space?" And the guy got out his digital camera, and he went, ch-ch, and there's these plumes of smoke just going up. He says, "Unfortunately, yes."
Yes. So you can even see the flames, though, in some cases. On some of the photos NASA put up, you can just flat out see the fire. It's bad.
California burns.
Yes, but this is more than normal. And, of course, for me, I now have lived for most of my life now in the San Francisco Bay Area, but I'm originally from the Los Angeles Basin. So it is kind of a little bit alarming to see areas going, You guys trying to kill the camera sensors with your shirt color?
No, that would be my green shirt, which I can't keep up with. Yeah.
You don't like Bacon Horse?
Heretics, I swear. I like me some Sunset. She's good.
Yeah, Sunset's great. I've grown to like the character.
She of all of the redemption arcs, hers and I believe Starlight's are the most believable.
Yes.
All right, so what we're doing is equal measures, one shot or a little bit more than one shot in my case, of lemon juice, fresh squeeze, please.
Yes.
This is brandy. You can use brandy or cognac. Cognac is just brandy from the Cognac region of France. Just like champagne is sparkling wine made from the Champagne region.
Or Burgundy, real genuine Burgundy, it's from the region of Burgundy.
Yep, everywhere else they call it Merlot. I think it's Merlot, yeah.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
And so then it's one shot of lemon
Proud,
juice.
glad you could join us.
Yep. One shot of of lemon juice, one shot of cognac or brandy, and one shot of Cointreau, which is orange liqueur.
You can get the bacon shirt from Tea Republic. That's where I got this, or Tea Public. That's where I got this shirt.
There we go. All right, and if you would be so kind as to grab a glass. You know how you sometimes do the salt rim on a margarita? Well, you do it with sugar. We use rough, let's say the large crystal sugar like you use on sprinkles for a Sidecar. So some ice.
Shake it till the shaker gets kind of nicely frosted and your hand gets cold and you don't want to hold on to it anymore.
Yep, exactly. You see it starting to frost up there. And then you break the vacuum. Hope that you don't spill it. There we go.
Because that'd be a waste of a good cocktail.
Yeah. And a waste of a good carpet, but we're not done yet.
No.
Yeah, there's one last thing to do.
One very important thing.
Let's see here.
Hey, Mad Badger.
Now, this brand, Luxardo of maraschino cherries, is different from most maraschino cherries. It's less sweet, but oh my God, they're good, but oh my God, they're expensive. This jar is $20 for maraschino cherries.
Yes.
So if you just use them for
Garnish.
say for like good cocktails.
Yes.
Come on.
And these are actually real from maraschino.
Yep.
Once again, that's actually an area. Found
Yeah.
it.
Yep, exactly. It's Maraska,
Yes.
which is in Serbia, I believe.
And to you folks, thank you for joining us tonight.
Indeed. Virtual. Yeah, as I must not drink and compute at the same time. All right. But you folks.
I would go for a drink like that right now. Okay, now.
Well, maybe. Okay, well that's a good one to retain for a drawing.
Yes, well, also too, that sounds like a challenge to Sean Rabbit.
Indeed.
Make a drink called Luna's Tits.
Indeed. It would be something with like coconut milk, no doubt. Mm-hmm. Hey, cheers, mate. Right, so you all like you not come over here just to see Bear and get drunk? Oh no. We got your alcoholic tucker for you right here. No, you came to see some art though.
That's
didn't
right.
You?
So for folks that are new to the stream and everything, what we're doing right now is, of course, I've just got my cocktail, I've got my brain lubricant. Now we're going to take a look at some artwork I've worked on the last 2 weeks. And then we're going to get on to the actual creating new art tonight.
What a concept! Bam.
Okay, now
about this, Baron, about your subconscious.
Well, as Bettina says, she finds the most amazing things when she goes rummaging around it, and had a little thing a while ago where I had this like little standalone one-night dream. I showed up in the staging area, and Bettina once again was watching on this like monitor, effectively like this little movie, and it was this kind of heavy metal. Cross between heavy metal and Easy Rider, and it was Discord and Fluttershy, and they were actually going on vacation, except they were hopping amongst realities, basically, and traveling on this big, huge V8 engine-powered chopper that Discord had.
Yeah, which we actually have right here. No, that's something different.
That's not a V8 chopper.
No, that's something else. Actually,
last week.
Yeah, that was last week.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. We'll pause and we'll gaze at this for a moment. Okay, fine, best princess. But getting back to this. Yeah.
And one night, basically, they had kind of taken, gotten a room in an inn, and Discord was talking about the fact that tomorrow they were going to be going on a fantasy adventure. Now, one of the things that Discord had done for this little trip was he gave Fluttershy basically limited ability to do the snap her fingers and make things happen just like Discord can. So she can make things appear and disappear like that.
Yeah, loaning the power.
Right. And he said, well, tomorrow we're going to be going on this trip, and we're going to be going to basically kind of this fantasy type adventure that we're going to be going on. She goes, oh, fantasy adventure. Okay, I know exactly what I need to wear. And she goes, click, and then she appears in this outfit. And Discord kind of goes, and she goes, oh, was it not going to be this kind of adventure? And Discord goes, it is now.
It is now. So you've been drawing, speaking of strange events, yeah, you've been drawing a lot of bunnies lately. So
well,
let's get back to that.
Well, bunnies are popular.
Yeah, so again, Playboy bunny outfits, for everybody, and even Princess Celestia's. Well, I'll try one on to find out what's going on.
Exactly. Well, I mean, Twilight's trying to get the bomb too.
Oh yeah.
Because she's been worried because poor Spike's been acting kind of weird every time.
Yeah, there's Twilight.
Yeah, every time poor Spike sees Rarity in her bunny suit.
Yeah. Nosebleed
starts hyperventilating and everything. So, and then she noticed that when Pinky came over to make sure Spike was okay because she'd heard he was sick, and Pinky's been helping out at Rarity's boutique and everything, and she's got one of those bunny suits. And once again, poor Spike starts having problems breathing, speaking incoherently, drooling uncontrollably, things like that. So Twilight's conducting some research. She thinks maybe these suits might be the result of the problem.
Yeah, well, as in the name of the Princess Celestia, he says, not so fast.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Yeah, well, more importantly, they have all kinds of very useful possible applications. And she was able to get some legislation pushed through without much resistance.
Indeed. Yeah, so we also have Well, you know, we know about this one here, right here.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I ain't so much bunny as a jackrabbit.
yeah, that's right.
Apple jackrabbit, that is.
That's right. I mean, if you're gonna do Rarity, if you're gonna do Twilight, if you're gonna do Pinky, you gotta do AJ.
Absolutely.
I got my idea what I'm gonna do for Rainbow Dash already worked out, and I got bunny suit for Flutters in the works too.
So nosebleed for all of us, right?
Exactly.
All right, so let's see. We also have, well, let's see.
Well, the problem is that AJ is unhappy because Patina's idea for helping him increase sales during Cider Day, and especially Zap Apple, seems to be panning out, and that kind of bugs her.
Yep. So here we have somebody else in a bunny suit, but she doesn't need the ears.
No, she doesn't. And unfortunately, Ari Coyote's not in the stream here tonight, because that's actually a Patreon reward for him.
Indeed.
And that's his character, Perry.
Yeah, and the caption for that one was, thanks,
But no.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. We also have, well, speaking of princesses, oh, Shiny.
Yes. Well, I mean, hey, if Twilight's going to wear one, if Celestia's going to wear one, you better bet that Cadence is going to have one of those in her closet.
Yeah, at least one.
At least, exactly. And of course, we also have Luna.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. But we don't have a Luna one.
Yes,
Or we do. That's a different one. That's the yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Well, that's.
And that one came around because someone made a comment that when I posted the Celestia bunny suit, they said, and Luna will figure out some way to make it look intimidating. And that night I had this image pop in my head, basically, of Luna with her horde of night hares, basically going out into the dream realm and, teaching those ponies a lesson for having such decadent, bohemian, brash and, hedonistic thoughts and not inviting her.
The gall.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, who is this Gina?
This is, I think he is in the chat. This is the Patreon reward for Corwin. And this is actually a study for another larger piece we're going to be doing.
Excuse me.
And,
some people get nosebleeds. I get cough. Yeah. So the accoutrements and outfits sort of belie the expression. Yeah.
Exactly. And people say I'm good at drawing shiny dark surfaces. So hey,
there you go.
Way to go.
Dr. Engel's leather in a spray, but we saw that a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, then of course, since the bunny outfits have run their course almost, we have some Hello Nurse.
Nurse, exactly. This is going to be part of a series, starting with the CMC, just like I did last time. And actually, Ari, I'm going to be working on your other one tonight. That's the one I'm going to be working on in the stream. So we're actually going to do RE as the one tonight.
Yeah, and Bravo, Angel is a spy. Yeah, that's it.
And so next one up is going to be Sweetie Belle.
Yep, the Nurse series.
Exactly. And now we're going to have a Maid series, and we're going to have a Cheerleader series, and then I've decided I'm going to adapt the John Cantor of Mares series to this.
Oh, with the big barbaric pony girls with the stallions clinging to their legs protectively. Yeah.
and then the skimpy metal bikinis and everything like that. Yeah, things like that.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Now, who is this?
That's Melody from my All Mouse Band, Move to the Music.
Ah.
And this is actually a study piece I did, once again, as a Patreon reward for Corwin. Actually, Corwin had a backlog of stuff, and there's some people that I've got backlogs of Patreon rewards, so I'm going to be going through and getting those done as much as possible to get people caught up.
And this is actually something that you worked on, last
stream.
week. Yeah. Now it's done.
Yep, that's all finished. That's the Lyra piece that I did more or less live on the air. I did spend about another hour and a half the day after, because I just had some materials that I just did not have here at the studio. At some point, I'll bring the gouache, and I'll show you how I use that, too.
What you cooking, Colonel?
He's doing barbecue.
Oh, nice.
He's barbecuing chicken in the snow.
Okay,
devotion.
Nice. Yeah, that's hardcore.
Yeah. Now, for folks who may be going to BabsCon next year, this piece of Lyra will be in the charity auction. So this will definitely be something that you guys can bid on. And I'm doing this because, well, I did start a Glimmer down at EQLA, and it really helped raise some money for the Silmar Animal Life.
Yeah, which, by the way, was threatened by the fires, but the fires now working. They were okay.
They're safe.
Yeah, they were safe. It was kind of touch and go for a while.
Yep.
All righty. All right, we are back there just in time for a bear to take a big slug.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Now, before we go any further tonight, there's probably something I want to discuss because.
Yep. The elephant in the room.
Yeah, because an awful lot of you folks, folks that are new here and everything, this is what I do for a living. I don't have a day job. I do art. And
He's at his day job.
Yeah, and one of the things that really makes my ability to be here and to focus entirely 24/7 on artwork, basically, is Patreon. Some of you guys are patrons of mine on Patreon. If you're not,
right,
you might want to consider it. For as little as $1 a month, we'll get that other part in just a moment. You can actually have a real impact on things. Now,
that being said, Patreon recently made a couple of changes in how billing works. They've confused things mightily, and essentially what they're doing is they're passing through some of their costs to the contributors, which means that functionally the minimum you can give now is not $1 a month. It's $1 which goes to him, and then 35 cents to the credit card company, and 2.9% to the credit card company. And so the minimum really comes out to $1.38. And they've confused a lot of people. Their PR on it has been very clumsy.
And I think they know it now.
Yeah, and people are kind of upset. It's not so much, oh, it's just 38 cents. What if you're one of those people that supports 50 different artists with $1 a piece? You're spreading the wealth. Now all of a sudden, instead of $50 a month, it's almost $70 a month. What are you going to do? If you can only afford 50, do you have to drop 20 artists? So Patreon, they're looking at ways to deal with it. In the meantime, keep calm, Patreon on. Things are not going to stay the way they are. We're pretty sure of that. Right. So anyway, that's the elephant in the room.
Actually, one of the other things, fun, you have to keep in mind, maybe you don't realize this, is if I get a Patreon payment from someone, for I say $1, $5, and a week or so later, they challenge that payment, that $5 to me, Patreon eats that money. I never see that. I don't get that $5 pulled back out of my account or anything. They're eating that. So one of the other expenses they have to deal with is chargebacks.
Yeah, chargebacks, basically fraud.
Fraud, yes.
Yeah. So again, when credit card fraud happens, again, everybody eventually suffers. So,
right.
But anyway, that's the elephant in the room. But it really comes down to is wait and see. Give them a couple of weeks to figure this stuff out. They've already announced a couple of other changes. I just hope that they become less clumsy about it.
Yeah, they're sorting it out. But yeah, folks, just they deal with a lot of fraud. Just so you know, on average, even with some of my filtering I do now, I still get about 10 new quote patrons a month that all end up being fraud, and basically I have to end up flushing them. So it is a real problem. Patreon is dealing with folks trying to use stolen credit card numbers to test things out.
Right, either that or they're just trolling.
There's trolling.
Yeah.
So there's an awful lot of things that are going behind the scenes. They're trying to do the best they can. They just kind of stuck their foot in their mouth when they did this.
Right. Yeah.
They're learning.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So it's enough about Patreon aside from give Baron money. Let's see some new art.
Exactly.
Let's make some art. You'll make art. I'll make smart ass comments because that's what I do.
That's what you do. Now we switch glasses. So haha, you can't yell at me. By the way, for new folks, I have to change glasses. And another thing is every hour we take a 5-minute intermission. And that's what's going on. But if I don't change my glasses, you do have permission to yell at me in the chat.
Yep.
My wife will appreciate it. And sometimes my wife actually tunes in, too. So if someone by the name of Smudge...
Hi, Smudge.
Yeah. Is Smudge here?
No.
Okay.
Well, actually, maybe she is. Maybe she isn't. I will take a look and see.
Take a look-see.
No smudge yet.
No smudge yet.
Oh. Okay, cigars. Okay. Rye whiskey. All righty. So
who's first up? I'm going to do McClaws.
Hey, Mr. McClaw, you are up.
You're up.
You're in the hot seat.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right, Cold Silver. Smudge has started doing some streams of her own.
Yeah, she should be streaming again next Friday, starting at around probably 6:30, 5:30, 6:30. And she streams for a couple hours, and I get to play kind of MC for that one. And
speaking of MCs, welcome back, say, to Cat's Paw. He was out last show. Dusty Cat stepped up and helped us out and did a great job. Thank you to Dusty. And welcome back to to Cat's Paw. Actually, a little bit later on, I'm going to show you something interesting that Dusty made.
Oh, are you going to show that?
I'm going to show that.
Nice, nice,
It's a thing at the place, yeah. So
very nice. There we go. That's what I wanted right there.
And that would be something, by the way, that's you too can, if they can get one of the thing I'm going to show you. You just got to contact Dusty.
Yep, because Dusty's doing these and they're awesome. All right, so
Orca, what's on the docket tonight? Patreon rewards.
yeah, we're gonna be doing that. I might take one request towards the end.
We'll think about it.
Yeah, we'll think about it. But this is going to be
yeah. Sakana, if you're looking for smudge art, you either go to smudgemarksengelworks.com, that's your cue, Cat's Paw, or to Smudge's
DeviantArt.
It's Smudge Dragon, not Smudge Proof. Smudge Proof is another pony artist who does artwork of an entirely different nature. Yeah, entirely different,
yes,
if you know what I mean. No, the Smudge Dragon, so basically smudgedragon.deviantart.com or smudgemarksengelworks.com. And I'm sure that right now Cat's Paw is typing madly away. Excuse me. I had a cold about 3 weeks ago and I had the cough since then. There you go. Cat's Paw is just that good.
Yeah, Cat's Paw is always on the ball.
Yep. Mad Badger. Something with Coco Pomel in it, I hope. Yeah. Yeah, Coco is a sweetie.
Yep.
Yeah, she and one of the things is that Coco does sort of have her own, her own look to her. I think she has I think the only other pony with her eye shape is Fluttershy, if I remember. Yeah. But yeah, of course that shows you, the point that Princess Ember Dragon, had to make. Like, you ponies, you're different in so few ways. You all look the same to me. So, all right.
I loved DWK's total legit recap of that episode.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was great. That was great. And we all loved we all loved WDK.
Yeah. Just don't play him at work.
No,
at least with speakers on.
No. That would be naughty. Yeah. He says naughty potty words. All right. So let's see. Just making another check through. Anybody else here that's new, by the way? Step right up and say hi. Oh, I think I see somebody else new. The Snalf. Hello, Snalf. Welcome. We're going to be here for about 4 hours. Baron's that guy that you see right over
waving at the camera.
There. And I'm like, this is me. I'm sort of the Ed McMahon to his Johnny Carson. If you're old enough to recognize that, well,
you're old.
Here's some aspirin, yeah. So. Yeah, Webster. Actually, yeah, he does. DWK does sort of resurrect some otherwise forgettable episodes. And the other thing is that once in a while it comes up with something that's like, oh, I didn't look at it that way. Now I like the episode better.
Yep. He provides insight. He does not like the term analyst, but he actually does better analysis than a lot of the quote-unquote analysts do.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that most of the analysts in the pony community are not analysts. There's critics, there's analysts, and there's reviewers. Critics will tell you what was done well and what wasn't done well, and they usually have a background in studying this kind of thing, film appreciation, that kind of thing, and of course the other thing about critics is that you will find somebody with tastes similar to yours. And say, okay, well, if this guy likes something, then I will tend to like it. If he doesn't like it, I will tend to not like it. And there's sort of a weather vane. Reviewers, reviewers are again, more of that, do you agree with them or don't you? Do you trust them? And most of the guys that call themselves analysts are actually either critics or reviewers, at least in this fandom. Analysts help you find things that you otherwise might have missed. They're not necessarily about quality, and they're not necessarily about I like, I didn't like, but here's here's something cool. This little bit comes from this mythology, or here's the subtext here. And DWK is much more in that camp because he is very insightful, where a lot of folks who call themselves analysts are not.
He brings, and the kind of insight he brings is insight that, unless you've walked a mile in his shoes,
Yeah.
You're not going to think of these things this way.
Yep. That guy with the griffin. Yeah, that's MLP Silver Quill. He is an analyst.
Yeah.
He knows his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Wolf is an analyst and a legitimate critic. Sort of straddling both. Most of the other stuff people are actually reviewers. What they're saying is, I liked it, I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, here's why. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That makes them a reviewer. Nothing in the world wrong with calling yourself a reviewer and being a reviewer.
Mm-hmm.
This analyst, I guess, sounds more
you charge more for it.
Swanky. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. My voice is very soft now. That's probably a good thing. I will slide my slider up slightly. Just don't want to,
get too
roast
hot.
you guys.
Yeah. And by the way, how is the stream holding up for folks? Is it staying fairly stable for you? It's been staying in the green every time I look over at it, at least.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on it. Yeah, we've had a couple problems over the past couple of weeks. We're still trying to nail it down. Last time it was Picardo had a little bit of a. Well, again, they had everybody jumping on at the same time, and apparently Picardo was doing some sports simulcasting or something like that.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and that completely ate him up.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, it's behaving very nicely so far.
Good.
Good. We like that.
Yes. I mean, as is, I really have to commend everybody who stuck through last stream with just sometimes where we just almost went down altogether.
Yeah.
You guys are great.
All righty. So yeah, that's speaking of griffins, that looks like a griffin is being wrangled.
No, it's gonna be Bettina and her little mouse form, basically playing tug of war over a piece of ribbon during the holiday season.
Okay, I was wondering if it was one of those bridal dance things.
Nothing like that. Nothing like that. It's gonna be this, she's got one piece of a ribbon, and have like pieces of gift boxes opened up, and wrapping paper all over the place and everything, and.
Yeah. So, you say, "Oh, Nezumi, you're so nice." Yeah, say, "You're so welcome, Baron. You're totally worth it." Yeah, he's totally worth it. Yep.
Thanks,
it's
guys.
a long, long way to Tipperary. World War I song.
Yep.
Well, stream just after saying hi, but blame Firefox for having a major burp. Brawr. All right. Well, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Understand Hasbro not being into interspecies relations. You mean aside from, say, from Spike and Rarity, but
or possibly the flourishing between Orthorax and Ember.
or Discord and Fluttershy. That's about as canon as you're going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Oh, by the way, exactly 2 weeks from now is December 24th.
Yes.
That's Christmas Eve.
Yes.
And traditionally, you do a thing on Christmas Eve. Are you going to do the thing on Christmas Eve?
Probably.
Yeah.
Of course, one of the things I need to do is actually I'm a little behind schedule. I got to get last year's piece done. I usually try to get those done by the end of the year. 1 year max on those. I got to get the piece for the guy who did the donation.
Yeah.
Taken care of.
Yeah.
Now, we will probably not be doing a New Year's Eve, I'm thinking. The scheduling just won't work out.
Yeah. Well, again, and it's just going to, roast your brains.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about usually on Christmas Eve is that we do a brief charity thing. I set something up on First Giving. We usually sponsor the Second Harvest Food Bank, which is the highest rated charity in the nation of any kind with regard to transparency and efficiency. If you give them $1, how much of it actually goes to their mission, which is feeding hungry people? And the answer for Second Harvest Food Bank is about 98%, about 98 cents. and that is just insanely high. Yes, and what we'll do is, you know, I'll do like I'll do something of like a partial match. We'll see, and Baron does artwork, and then we have sort of a drawing for people who contributed, and they get stuff. Yeah. So you know, we've done this for the past 3 or 4 years now, and yeah, it's always a good thing. We usually manage to raise a couple $1,000s for hungry people.
And sometimes there are some of these different cases where like other things, people done matching funds. So if we donate money that night, some corporation will match our funds. It was that one year we did that. I forget who was doing the matching funds, and then it was like we did like quite a few thousand.
Yeah.
For it.
Old man stories. Would you settle for Dungeons and Dragons stories?
Yes.
Because I've been doing that since, well, basically as long as Dungeons and Dragons has existed, ever since I was a little tiny Caradwin.
Yes, but yeah, now we have new Dungeons and Dragons stories.
Indeed. Yeah, we just started a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition campaign that has, you know, folks that you would know would be Dusty Cat, Cat's Paw, and Baron.
Hi.
Hi. And I'm the game master. And we got everybody's characters finally finished, and we had our session 0. You know, our first session, which, you know, we managed to get all the characters together and all that last Saturday. And it was kind of fun because, you know, again, part of what you do with the characters is say, what's my starting equipment? And half the characters I said, don't worry, because their starting equipment is manacles and chains and collars, because they have been captured by slavers. Welcome to D&D. Yeah, so yeah, you know, the folks are now at Caravanserai, which is a little, which is actually, by the way, the word caravan comes from the word caravan, which is sort of a roadhouse or an inn on the old Silk Road back from, you know, 1100, 1200 AD. So, you know, that's where the word caravan comes from. You know, and they used to set up, you know, all through Turkey and Armenia, you know, what's now Kyrgyzstan, you know, all the way into Western China. These, you know, at oases and, you know, places like that, they would set up these little half fort, half fortress, half inn. Yeah, exactly. Where people would stop and, you know, rest up and, you know, let their animals recuperate and all that before going on the next leg of their journey. So they're in a little place called Caravanserai, and you know, they will be finding out a little bit more about that place and its neighbors next week.
See, I know that I got to tell you something right now. For folks maybe who don't play a lot of computer games, or just haven't done a lot of, you know, role-playing games, there's a general rule: if you come in the room and you suddenly find all the health packs and ammo packs and that one weapon that you really have been looking for the whole game, and there it is in that room, you're about ready to have a boss fight. This guy gave my character and Doug's character and Catspaw's character a whole extra score of arrows, free of charge.
Exactly.
Now, what could we possibly be needing those arrows for?
No, I'm just scaring you. I will do stuff like that just to mess with people's heads. It works.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we will see what happens. I may drag up the picture there. Baron's character is a deer dude. He is a ranger, archer, you know. And let's see. Dusty's character is basically, he's playing the character Thatch, which was a character that he voiced in an animation with himself and Mando Pony that Mando's wife Sipsy put together. Yeah, and he is basically a feline bard. And then we actually hooked up with a couple of old friends, like one of the fellows who I knew from college way back in the 80s is in the area, and recently got back in contact with him, thanks to the Pony episode Amending Fences, by the way. Yes.
If you have not seen that episode, go see it.
Yes, this show sometimes motivates you to do things that have real, serious, hardcore, lasting value. I hooked up with a friend from 30 years ago, and now we're going to have some more D&D. He's playing a human fighter, archer type, and everyone's going to just start calling him Zookeeper because he's the
Hey,
only...
Corwin.
Hey, Corwin. Because he is a bard, as in the guy who plays music. Yeah. So he plays because he's the only human in the group, and everybody else is Doug's wife is playing a feline rogue. Cat's Paw is playing a Varg, a wolf. Basically the son of a knight. He's straight up sword and board, fighter type. And that's our group. We may be having one other join, which would be very cool. But and we will give you reports on how it goes.
Yes, and I'll be doing more art of Cedric because people like Cedric.
Yeah.
We're kind of surprised about that.
Now in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, Bard is actually it used to be one of the lamest classes, but 5th edition D&D Bards are awesome. Some people think they're the best class. It's more than just, I play my lute and the bad guys run away in fear. No, they can counterspell, they can heal.
They can do some actually pretty nasty things.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly. They have a minor spell called Vicious Mockery, which does basically psionic damage. They start reciting your sins or your imagined sins, and calling you out, and your ears start to bleed, and so you start to have all these horrible visions of your past and the bad things you've done, and you start taking damage. Vicious mockery. God love it.
Yeah. Let's put
Fake this, guys.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. Dusty's character's Bard, and they're keeping him gagged.
Yeah, they knew.
Yeah,
they know. They
Yeah.
know. It's I mean, I think I hinted pretty strongly that was actually the reason the slavers got him. He was valuable. Can you play a Swashbuckler in 5th edition? Yes, it's not a class of its own, but it's it's a specialization of a rogue. Where a rogue is not necessarily a burglar. They can also be a swashbuckler. They can also be a con man. They can they can also be what they tend to call themselves anyway, a scout. There are all these different archetypes that you can be. That you have to choose when you're 3rd level.
Yeah.
So can you be a swashbuckler? Hell yes, you can.
Yeah, I mean, especially because it's very early in the game, literally.
Yeah.
Session 0, we're actually going to reconfigure Cedric to be a ranger.
Yeah.
Instead.
Yeah, we ended up with some duplication.
Right.
What are the differences between bards and thieves? Well, quite a bit. So again, bards there is music in the magic, and the other way around. So again, bards are spellcasters that use music as the delivery method, and they can fight, and when they do fight, it's somewhat rogue-like. But all of their talents are in performance and in persuasion and in bluffing and in resisting being bluffed and being a font of knowledge. I heard a song that that mentioned a sword that kind of resembles this one.
Yes, or you think our cause is a lost, forlorn one. No, let me tell you a tale of so, and the party gains hope. And the enemy does not.
Yeah, exactly. Or the other way to go is battle singers. The skalds. Again, rough and tough warriors. Who go into battle. With a song on their lips. Singing the praises of their ancestors, and that music has an effect. And then they start chopping people in half with two-handed swords. It's great. You should try it. Yeah, so again, bards in 5th edition are awesome. Yeah, bards, DJ Phone 3 with bass cannon equipped.
Yes.
The difference is that in 2nd edition, or at least in Advanced D&D, a bard is something you became after you got a bunch of levels in this, then a bunch of levels in that. It's like, no, it's its own class. which has been that way since 3rd edition, but in 3rd, 3.5, and 4th edition, bards were kind of lame. They just didn't work right. Yep. So
Yeah, real history music. Yep.
Yeah, like that one maniac from the Second World War went in with bagpipes, sword, and a bow. The ladies from Hades.
Mm-hmm.
Orc bard with a war drum. Or kobold bards. Kobold bards are fun.
Mm-hmm.
I come in and I sing a little song, and then I stick you with a knife. Yes, I do. Yeah, music. Yeah, martial music has always been a part of war.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So your music is good, and your enemy doesn't want to hear the music there. Yeah, exactly. When you hear bagpipers coming in, it's like you know 2 things. One, say that you're going to suffer horribly from bagpipes, and 2, they're accompanied by Highlanders.
Mm-hmm.
These insane guys with no fear and a lot of anger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So things Mr. Welsh is no longer allowed to do in an RPG. Mm-hmm. No abusing the following rules in the 5th edition to achieve faster than light travel in just 6 seconds. That's right, generic. Yeah. You need to find a good online D&D 5th edition game sometime. Look up Roll20.net. That's a virtual tabletop hosting service, and they're always looking for new gamers. Roll20.net. You know, bards do not do sneak attacks. That is correct. You know, although you can take a couple of levels in, you don't have to stay the same character type throughout your career. You can become like I'm a 1st level bard. I'm a 2nd level bard. I'm a 3rd level bard. Now I'm a 3rd level bard and 1st level rogue. Now I'm a 3rd level bard, 2nd level rogue. Okay, now I'm a 4th level bard, 2nd level rogue. You can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Excuse me. All right. Good night, Katarjin.
Yeah. Glad you could drop by.
Katarjin. Yeah, there you
Hope
go.
to see you again in Christmas Eve.
Wagner, Ride of the Valkyries. Kill the wabbit.
Yes.
Yep.
Spirit
Cat's
magic
Paw,
helmet.
we will do that in a moment, yes. Say we've been reminded of a certain duty.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. All right. All right. So we're going to take just a quick moment here. We have an hourly duty that we do. Our hourly duty is this. We want to say thank you to University Art for sponsoring Baron. University Art is a high-end art supplies and framing shop with branches in Sacramento and Redwood City and San Jose, California. They do museum quality framing, archival quality materials, meaning that your artwork will be safe 100 years from after you're gone. Mm-hmm. Their salespeople do not have commission, so they can give you honest advice. And they tend to be artists themselves. We even borrow a couple of them once in a while and bring them on as guests.
In fact, if folks follow my Twitter or Dusty Cat's Twitter, he posted a photo today of matting and framing design, and that was done at University Art when I was down there helping him pick up colors.
Yeah, and a little trivia here. Baron worked for University Art for about 20 years, and so they are the most patient people in the world. So we want to say thank you to them. They sponsor Baron in the form of art supplies. So, and in return, we say these are great people, because it's true. I won't have my framing done by anybody except University Art. They know what they're doing. All right. So, and in case in case either Mike or Jeff are watching from University Art,
hi.
All right. So, and we do this once an hour. Once an hour, every hour.
Fulfill our obligation, because
our duty is done, and we mean it. Yeah, because this little advertisement has the benefit of actually being true.
Yes,
true. I know. What's the world coming to?
True testimonial.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I can understand why people might not like Wagner, because, well, first of all, Wagner was used by the man with a little tiny mustache to promote Germanic values, you know. And,
yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we saw where that went. The other thing is his music is not subtle.
I thought
Karl Orff is worse about that, you know, but you know, Wagner is over the top.
I thought a quote that's often attributed to Mark Twain about saying Wagner isn't as bad as it sounds.
Yeah.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
That's right, work that hand.
Well, Ari, if you're ever in the area at the right time, look us up. We'll see. We can.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Sylvan, this is super cute. Yes, that is super cute. We use Spearwing magic helmet. Yeah. Yeah. Get over to the art. They frame other people. Yeah. We're gonna set up this smoke. Yeah. Just get them a nice Rococo frame with a double mat, and we'll use plexiglass instead of regular glass, and then we'll blame him. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I like plexiglass. I do flexi for all my work.
Yeah.
Having survived Loma Prieta and a bunch of my artwork not surviving Loma Prieta because I had used glass.
Yeah.
And having seen things come down in convention art shows and having shipped artwork all around the world now, I will not have anything to do with glass unless there's some very, very specific use cases where it's like, okay, we'll use plexi because this is the best thing for the job.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, you can see right behind Baron's head there, right over there. Yeah, that's a framing job that was done back in the year 1999, and it is still rock solid. That's the cover of a comic book that Baron illustrated for me.
In 1997.
Yeah. In 1997, here it is 20 years later, and it looks brand new.
Yep.
What can you say?
If you spend a little bit of time on good materials, you get good results.
You're correct, Kibbery. Plexiglass does offer UV protection, which is that UV will cause fading. It's sometimes very dramatic. So you definitely want to get.
Now there are different grades of plexi. What Cared One quite often uses is what we would recommend. It's a brand called OP3. There's other manufacturers that have their equivalent, and it is designed to specifically block like 98% of all UV light. Regular plexiglass will give you about 65% protection. But you might think, well, that's only a 30% difference. That 30% makes a huge difference. At one time, we conducted a test at University Art. We had in our San Jose store, we had a window that faced out on Meridian Avenue, and it gets hours and hours of pretty direct blazing sunlight. And we framed it 2 identical prints, one with regular glass and one with archival glass. Actually, we did 3. One was archival glass and one was archival plexi. And we put those in the window and we left them there for a couple of years. And then we took them out and examined them, and the difference was alarming. At first, you don't really realize it because you see it every day. You don't see the colors fading out until you do them side by side and you go, oh dear.
You just don't see it sneaking up on you.
Yeah. Now, even archival plexi or glass, you'll still get some fading, but we were doing literally an abuse torture case. We were testing to the point of destruction. And we did one of them. We covered part of it with a black opaque board so no light could get it at all, and that was kind of our baseline test. But the UV protection does wonders. And also that's why all my color pieces, I always spray them with a UV resistant clear coat on top before I send them off for framing, so they got an extra layer of protection. Because if you're dropping hundreds of bucks on a commission, you want that thing to last. I'll tell people quite often, it's better to go in and get a design for a frame job, hold off on framing something and just have it stored and protected, and then spend your money once and do the job correctly, then do the job twice.
Indeed. Sean, the comic book in question was Associated Student Bodies. It's an adult comic, and it caters to certain special interests. It was a comic series that ran for 8 issues, and you can actually still get it from Rabbit Valley.
Mm-hmm. It had an actual story and plot to it.
Yeah, the story and plot was getting in the way of the sex.
Oh, darn.
It didn't start that way, but it ended that way. It's like, oh crap, there's a very serious story here.
Yeah, it was a good story.
What am I going to do? Yeah.
It was a good story. It was a story that need to be told at that time.
Well, it was a coming out story,
Mm-hmm.
where our lead character, Daniel, ended up in a romantic relationship with Marcus, and that did not suit Daniel's father at all well. And but it's not because Daniel's father was necessarily, quote, evil. He had his own points, So, and the story kept getting in the way until finally said, okay, fine, story, run with it, And Baron did the covers. A friend of mine, Chris McKinley, did the most of the interiors.
And Smudge did all the great tones and lettering.
Yeah, say Smudge helped out with, say again, a lot of the post, let's say post arty stuff, indeed. And yeah, let's say, and when the book was collected into a graphic novel format, Cat's Paw did the layout on that.
And they did the cover.
Yep, and yeah, it was 8 issues there. We had some guest artists like Terry Smith,
Eric Elliott.
Say Eric Elliott, and we also had Zalman, the guy that did Buster Wilde.
Yes.
That was, yeah, he did a strip that appeared only in ASB.
Neat.
Yeah. Notice the visual difference between my new cats. One has a white patch on her nose, the other doesn't. Other than that, the fact that one has a collar with a bell, they're identical. Yeah, that's because that way they can switch off and you don't know who to blame.
Yeah. They know how to take the collar off too, probably.
Yeah. Well, good night, Pink Pony.
Yes. Glad you could join us.
And I think I see somebody else new. Hello, Von Ark. Are you new? If so, welcome.
Yes.
If not, then welcome back.
And if you are new, chime in and say hi.
Hello.
We are not
Yeah, let's see. Is there anybody else
friendly.
Who is new?
Yeah, you'll have to forgive us if we can't keep track of everybody who's new, because I checked this morning. I have 626
Yeah, just a few.
followers.
Chlevnik, are you new? If so, welcome. If not, welcome back. D Steers. You may have been here before. I do not recall.
I'm just lurking. I'm just lurking. Well, lurk away. Enjoy.
Enjoy your lurk. Yeah. I miss Terry Smith. I hope she's doing okay. Last I heard she was doing fine. The thing is that Terry has poor vision nowadays, and it does make doing artwork difficult for her. Let's see who else we got here. Anybody else that is new and wonderful. Well, actually, by the way, if any of you are artists and have deviant arts of your own, or Picardo's channels of your own, if you can give us some, feel free to share links as long as they go somewhere where the landing page is safe for work.
Yeah.
But otherwise, again, feel free to say, hey, I'm an artist too. You know, we are not territorial here. We want everybody to succeed. Yeah, for instance, Howl Art. Yes, I've seen him before. His stuff before is quite good. Artex. Oh yeah. Let's see. Anti-Carrot. Yeah. Let's see who else here. Again, if you. if you are an artist, sing out. Let us know. Tell us where to go see your stuff.
We're here to help build a community.
Well, there's somebody we haven't seen in a while. Hello, Jareth.
Hey there. Good to see you too.
Copper Cheetah and Jareth. Yeah. Now, okay, so Copper Cheetah and Jareth, they are friends that I have known since about 1999.
Oh, I know. Well, 92. I knew them in 92.
Well, no, so you're right.
Yeah,
you're
we know.
No, I was thinking of the Birth of Ashland's Call. No, Birth of Furry Muck. Copper Cheetah was one of the people who was there at Ground Zero and one of the early wizards and hosts of it. So, he's one of the folks that helped make, for good or for ill, helped make furry fandom a thing.
Yep.
Let's see.
By the way, to Jareth, hope you got the email I sent you. Because I did send you an email before I left for the my stream here today. Because you sent me an inquiry about a possible business relation.
Oh, Peruser. Yeah, I remember seeing your stuff. I'm sorry.
Cool.
Peruser does custom plush and does a damn good job.
Oh, sweet.
Look at that.
Oh.
Check that out.
Yeah, Peruser, I'm going to want to talk to you about possibly something here in the future.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Holy heck. All right. All right. Well, we got ourselves some good stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to build. Build a community here. Because the community has helped and supported me and is letting me do something that there was a point in my life not too long ago where I thought maybe I was just never going to reach it. It was like one of those people that just never was going to achieve that one dream and goal. But now I'm getting a chance to do it. And a lot of it's because of you guys. Okay, we're coming on the...
Yeah, so we're just about to at first break.
Right.
Yeah, about another 3-4 minutes.
Yeah, I'll work on the shading, some more on the shading on this at home. I get this finished up proper. But I want to get blocked in.
Yep. Indeed, yeah. Oh, Orca. My sister got a new dog, a Malamute that's almost as big as a miniature pony.
Yes.
There are giant Malamutes. You know, the Malute. There are Wacon Malamutes, some of which will hit 200 pounds. They are bred for the competitive sleigh poles.
Yep.
You know, stack stuff on the sled, you know, and then, you know, pull it 50 feet. And keep stacking stuff, and whoever pulls the most gets to go home with what was on the sled. Usually it's, you know, sacks of dog food. Winners typically go home with 6,000 pounds
Yep.
of dog food. What are you going to do
Which
with
one?
that?
I mean, last year, month or so with one of them.
Okay, well, again, these tend to be, you know, guys that do a lot of, mushing and, dog sledding, that kind of thing. And God, some of those Wacon Malamutes, I swear they're half horse.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. Say Nezumi. With regards to DeviantArt, you have to turn it on to say that I want to see the boobies.
Yep.
Again, as long as the landing page is okay, and again, if it's DeviantArt, you know, pretty much by definition it is. You don't gotta worry. Yeah. Appreciate the good line art. It's a pleasure to watch tonight. Yeah. Baron has been drawing since he was about 2.
Yep. 1.5 to be precise.
Yes, yeah. I would say his very first art canvas, if I remember correctly, was himself.
And the walls of my crib. Someone accidentally dropped a Mark Slot marker in my crib.
He was doomed ever since.
And I figured out how to get the cap off, and I went to town.
Yep. Here we go. Yeah. So let's see.
Since we're having kind of a holiday theme here, I thought it'd be kind of amusing to have Patina playing a tug of war with.
With the ribbon and the whole bit. Yeah, trying to decide which one of the two is the present. Going through the list here, is there anybody else here who is, you know, new? Again, Sabercat. I think we said hi to you earlier, but I'm going to say hi anyway. Hi, Sabercat. Let's see, anybody else that is new and wonderful. I'm wonderful, but I'm not new. Let's see. Busy in the kitchen to draw lately, but when you get time off, you dabble on your Cintiq laptop from time to time. Well, you know, keep doing it. Either Patina is taller than usual here, or that griffin is mighty tiny.
It's a pretty small griffin.
It's a micro griffin.
Yeah. I have a reference list provided by McClaw, and it'd be about this big body-wise. So yeah, it's a small griffin.
It's a pocket griffin.
It's a pocket griffin. Yeah, there you go.
Alrighty, it is 6:29.
Yeah, why don't we switch cameras back here?
So I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to push this button right here.
Here.
Oh, by the way, folks, if you stream, you got to get you one of these.
They are.
They are fantastic. They make life so much easier. You can set up everything in advance, you know, assign custom icons, you know, because there's little tiny screens on there, and then you just push the button.
And away you go.
Just push the button. All right, folks.
Armor Wing, are you new?
I think we've seen Armor Wing before.
We have? Okay.
But so in that case,
welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a 5-minute break. You know, get up, stretch, be biological, do all the biological things that biological things do. Yeah, we're going to make Baron stretch because artists who do this all day long tend to get bad backs and bad necks unless they stretch it out.
And as it is this week, because we've had our first real week of really kind of cold weather and everything, I'm getting that age now where I feel my bones. And so I've had a couple of days where I've had to go, I got to lay down for half an hour because my back is spasming. So I know you need to get up and you need to move around.
Yeah, it's serious business. Serious business. We will see you in 5 minutes. And we are back.
Webster, what kind of ice cream are you eating?
Tell us.
Yes,
tell us. Tell us.
We must know.
Yeah.
What kind of ice cream are you eating?
Yeah, Lego. The answer is as long as the Navy SEAL has ammo.
Ooh,
yeah,
sounds good. Yeah, and a good ghillie suit.
Yeah. So actually, the very first order of business we have to do is we need to refresh Baron's
do a
drink.
reload.
Yeah. Let's see, Agni. I think if I remember right, my account is just under just plain Caradwin, but. I will look it up on Roll20. I will look it up afterwards. In the meantime, we're making Baron another sidecar, which is 1.5.
You stay.
Shots of lemon juice, freshly squeezed, if at all possible. And the same amount of brandy or cognac. As I say, cognac is just brandy from the cognac region of France. There we go. Just like bourbon is just whiskey from corn whiskey from particular counties in Kentucky.
And Shelf Deck, I'm glad you're enjoying what you're seeing here tonight. We do this every other week.
Yeah. Mad Badger, ROLL20.net. It's an online tabletop role-play game hosting site.
Oh, good. Proud your lag is down to 4 seconds. Very good. Excellent.
Yeah. Say whatever it is, Picardo, whatever it is you just did.
Keep doing it.
Do some more.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, for all the little burps and stuff like that, we really appreciate the work that Picardo does. I worked for a while at a company that was doing its own, hosting of high video bandwidth applications, and it's not easy.
Nope.
Shooka.
I mean, you guys every once in a while see, hiccups that happen. Oh, wait, it's shaking. You guys every once in a while see some hiccups that happen for us when we're streaming and everything, but...
Multiply that by 1,000,000.
Yes, and some of the things that I watch this guy behind the scenes do just, literally minutes before we go live to make certain that this goes off without a hitch.
Well, there's one more thing to do.
Yes, of course. That's why I haven't moved. You notice I'm still.
Yeah.
He even got a real fork this time.
Yeah, now if I can find
Fancy.
Now if I can find where I put it. Yeah, Forky. Oh, there you are. Forky McFork.
Yes.
Like, in fact, I'm going to give you a double.
Ooh, I'm special.
Yeah.
Add a little bit of juice.
A little bit. That's more syrup.
Right. That's not true maraschino's. There.
Yeah. Ow. Now,
Wow. They're talking about having different weights.
Yes, this has a specific gravity of many.
Yes.
These are amazing. They are expensive as crap.
But they're not cloying.
No, these are wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
That's how
that texture.
That's how you know you're in a good bar. If they put a maraschino in your maraschino cherry in your drink that is this color. Okay, it's a maraschino cherry, the one we're all used to, cherry on your sundae. If they put one that is, say, that is the color of, say, a 100-year-old port wine, yeah.
Yeah, it's the good stuff.
All right. So, again, now that we've, seen, Baron get a drink, let's see Baron make a picture.
And next thing we're going to be doing is, Ari, are you still there in the chat? Because your piece is up next.
I see him right there. There you
go.
So I'm going to push this button right here while Baron goes chug. Don't go chug. That would be awful.
Yeah, machine gun cherry.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, first we set the glass down,
Yep.
like so. Then, so people can't yell at me, I change my glasses.
Yeah.
Now, what we're going to be doing here is kind of amusing. We're going to be playing off a theme that...
Oh, Copper says that Luxardo also makes a maraschino liqueur.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, maraschino comes from the Marasco, which is a region in I think it's either Serbia or Bosnia. It's and Luxardo is Italian. It's right on the border between. It's like in the Trieste region. It's right next to the border with. I think it's Serbia. Serbia, Croatia, Montenegro. I can't keep track. But yeah, it's something you would find in proper liquor stores. Not the ones where you get Mad Dog 2020, but where you get the good stuff. But I found this of all places in a Safeway.
Yeah, kind of surprised me too. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, we're gonna do this.
Yeah,
we're gonna do this.
All right, what I'm doing tonight is gonna be kind of funny. Ari wants me to do a picture of his character, Ari Coyote.
Uh-oh.
In a bunny suit.
Okay, then.
This is going to be pure Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny in drag.
Ooh, wait till I get that rabbit.
Exactly.
What do you want with a rabbit? Can't you see that I'm much sweeter? I will be your senorita. You look like my kind of guy. Let me loosen your tie and I will dance for you. That wascally lunatic wabbit. Not a Roadrunner outfit. There was a restaurant in Stockton, I don't think they're there anymore, called Luigi Murphy's Irish Italian Cafe. Kind of a nice place, a place, where, people on a college budget would take their date if they wanted to, go get something nicer. By that I mean food. I think I mean food. But anyway, they had a very, cartoon accurate stuffed Wile E. Coyote, about 5 feet tall, in a glass case. He had an old, real double-barrel shotgun, well, that they had deactivated, But he also had a stuffed Roadrunner that looked just like the one from the show, right around his skinny neck, going, and there was a plaque on the bottom that said, "Got your ass." How many people learned their first classical music through Looney Tunes? That would be me.
Yeah. In fact, it was actually very confusing when I was a young kid and we started taking things like music appreciation class, and I was going, "Oh, they're playing Bugs Bunny music." No, that's the William Tell Overture. Oh. Of course, it was the same way with 2001. That's not the 2001 song? No.
Yep. Say that was my first exposure. 2001 was my first exposure to the. That wasn't my first exposure to the Danube Waltz. That would have been Looney Tunes.
Mm-hmm. And once again, that was in 2001.
Yeah.
Because they played that when the Pan Am shuttle was docking with the space station.
Yeah. Oh, they go on the whole, Navy SEALs versus a Roman centurion, Roman century. An airstrike is cheating. You said a sniper, not a sniper with backup singers. Okay, that's 20 points for you, Bravo.
Ding, ding,
if you were in my Dungeons and Dragons campaign, you would get an inspiration token for that.
Yes.
An inspiration token is basically a get out of jail free card. You get to re-roll. Baron got an inspiration token because he made the very, very first roll of the game.
And I rolled a 1.
Yeah. Do you know this guy? Say, okay, 1. I was like, no, you don't even know your own name. Yeah.
But I did a great recovery later.
Taco Bell's Cannon. Let's see.
Taco Bell. Let's see here, that'd be behind. So, yeah. As I'm taking a moment here to adjust the for yeah, I'm doing that right. Okay, good. It's okay if you're uncertain to take a moment and stop and go, wait a minute, am I doing this right? Hey, Ari, should I give Ari eyeliner and some mascara?
That is a very broken Pocketable. That is a Pocketable's broken cannon that blew up because somebody put a double charge in it. Say cannon in D major, 105. Okay, there is a record company called Telarc that used to do just pure audiophile vinyl, and they
will do.
Yep. And they did a recording of the 1812 Overture. That's one of the cannons,
Mm-hmm.
Bam, And instead of cannons, they set up microphones about 12 inches to one side of the muzzle of a 105 millimeter howitzer.
Mm-hmm.
They got exactly one boom per microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder why. You know, say if say, you know, Larsis isn't here. Larsis, by the way, one of our frequent guests here. He does live sound for a living.
Yeah,
and,
he knows his stuff.
Yeah, and he would have something to say about that. And you would look on the record, and the record, you know, of course, has, you know, these grooves all around it, you know, for the needle. And there was a gap of about 1/8 of an inch wide with just one little track down the middle, and then all of a sudden you'd see this jag, you know, the entire width of it. You know, the needle would like run into a brick wall. Very few turntables could play it. You know, the ones with the ultralight arms, you know, the needle and the arm
off.
would get thrown out, and the ones that were too heavy would just sort of mush over and go bleh, you know. I seem to remember, here's an old man's story. Brian, are you listening? Back when I was in Chico, there was a certain person who had a nice sound system, including there was a brand of speaker called DCM. They made something called time windows, which were very, very good speakers. There was a manufacturer of amplifiers called Carver that had a unique design, you know, a magnetic field amplifier. Had the advantage of incredible amounts of headroom. I mean, you can get these really nice spikes. Well, the kids across the way, you know, we went to college together. So the kids across the way would take out their giant Sansui speakers and play Foreigner, jukebox hero, stars in his eyes. You know, it's like, and they thought they had a loud stereo. And then one day Brian had enough of that. Out came the time windows. You know, the dial got cranked to 11. And then on went the 1812 Overture, Telearch recording. The kids across the way did not engage in the amplifier wars anymore after that. Yeah, that was epic. So, Pachelbel's cracked 4-pounder. There you go. Pachelbel's mortar that had a premature explosion, you know, detonation. I hate premature detonations, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Oh no, I would never not know anything about that.
Know about that. Right.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Once again, you didn't propose an all-out war scenario. You didn't propose a Roman legion versus manned fighter planes. Well, details. Now, the audio recording equipment is not normally designed to reproduce explosions. Well, you know, it was a thing to do. Yeah. So, let's see. Oh, welcome back, Dale.
Yes.
Let's see if we take a quick check here, see if we have any new...
Pachelbel Swamp Angel.
Yeah, pretty much. Blue Bengal, are you new? You may have been here before, but if not, welcome. If so, welcome back. Who else here is new? Looking down the list of names, Kiwani, I think we've seen you before.
Yeah, because one of the things about this whole operation is that we like making people feel welcome.
Because you are welcome.
Yeah, because this is part of a community.
Indeedy.
I mean, you folks get here every 2 weeks to watch me draw, but you know, I know there's people.
Come for the art, stay for the people.
Yeah, I know there's people in this chat who have become friends with each other because of their communications and discovering each other through this stream. So I consider this kind of a community thing.
Pachelbel's cracked 4-pounder. Foxfire, wasn't that PDQ Bach?
Actually,
Yeah,
okay, we'll fix the hat. We'll take care of the hat there. We can make the hat work. I can fit the hat in. He won't have it on his head, but he'll have it in his hand. We can totally do this.
Why are you only giving extra advantages to the sniper? Give the Romans a trained Hydra. How about they borrow a trick from Hannibal?
Elephants?
Elephants, or a trick from the Dacians, flaming pigs.
Yes. Did the pigs get any say in that?
Yep. Well, if not PDQ Bach, then it'll be Tom Lehrer, but you know.
It does sound like a PDQ Bach thing, though.
Hannibal. Fava beans. Well, different Hannibal, but no, I say no. My favorite fava beans gourmet
is Zorak, the lone mantis of the apocalypse. He will devour your liver with a fine Chianti. Oh, and some fava beans. Because we all like Zorak. He is our positive role model, space ghost.
And for all you folks who don't have any clue what we're talking about, go check out something from the last century. It's kind of fun and sad to be able to say that.
Yeah. A lot of live sound capturing for the audiobooks you're working on, like Fall to Equestria, Project Horizons, Duty, and Pinkies. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say if it's going to be Fall to Equestria, there's going to be a lot of screaming involved. Yeah, and the sounds of bullets impacting flesh.
Yeah, lots of Foley of taking pickaxes to watermelons.
Yeah, what? No avocado? Yeah. How about giant hammers to...
Defrosted chickens.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Oh, yes, the General Dynamics chicken cannon.
Yeah. Thaw out the chickens first.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it could be frozen up there because it's cold,
Yeah.
The muzzle blasts with this sort of clicking noise as the pressure wave maxed out the microphones. Yeah, I've heard that the Chianti and fava beans line was a joke about Hannibal being... Well, that was from the, was it Anthony Hopkins?
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, when he first meets his, he's
June.
Meets his court-appointed therapist, type. Yeah, and it's like, oh yes, I killed him, then I ate his liver with a fine Chianti and some fava beans. Yeah. And he made this slurping noise, which was certainly not scripted. Yeah.
Yeah, he did such a good job of dropping into character. And he's actually this really quite likable fellow.
Well, so is Christopher Walken. He's a huge practical joker.
Yes.
Yeah. But yes, Christopher Walken has this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christopher Walken in
Prophecy?
Prophecy, yes. He played a having gone insane Archangel Gabriel. Again, the basic premise of that is, again, in all the Bible stories, whenever the firstborn need to be killed or an entire nation,
laid waste.
Laid waste, they sent Gabriel. Gabriel was the angel with the sword. Gabriel was the one that was slaughtering everybody. The premise was that has an effect on people.
It has effect on angels.
Even on angels. And Gabriel went sort of nutso and rebelled again. So. It was, and Christopher Walken. It was also Viggo Mortensen's very first major role. He played Lucifer.
And he was great.
Oh, he was delicious.
Yes.
Oh, he was so good at being so bad.
And so feral.
Yes.
He was wonderfully animalistic and feral in spots.
Chris Walken versus William Shatner. Dramatic. Pause. Begin.
My first exposure to Christopher Walken was Prince of New York.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
He actually played a good guy in Brainstorm, which is the film that would say that, what kind of wood doesn't float, Natalie Wood. He played a scientist in Brainstorm, where the basic premise is that they'd figured out a way to record and replay memories. And so it's just going to become like this ultimate sensory experience, use it for military training, use it for porno, and unfortunately the actress Natalie Wood died during the filming. There was an accident and she drowned, and people still wonder to this day whether it was an accident, and everybody points fingers at everybody, blah blah blah. So they had to work with the footage they had, and they managed to make a reasonably coherent story out of it. But he actually played a good guy and did a good job.
No trees in Kansas.
Yep. Remember to mark your doors with grenadine this Saturday so the plague of SantaCon will pass over your bar.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, the devil went down to Georgia. There's a good song.
Yeah.
He was looking for a soul to steal because he was in a bind, because he was way behind. But he wasn't willing to make a deal.
Yep.
He came upon a young man sitting on a stump with a fiddle and playing it hot. And the devil approached him and said, "Boy, let me tell you what. Guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too. Bet a fiddle of gold against your soul. It says I'm better than you."
Oh yeah.
Yep. That was fun stuff.
Charlie Daniels Band.
Yep. William Shatner versus the most interesting man in the world. Okay.
William Shatner himself actually is a fairly.
I don't always have dramatic pauses, but when I do so with William Shatner. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that needs to be an epic rap battles of history. William Shatner versus the most interesting man in the world. Someone go suggest it. Devil in the House
Gun
of
Rising
Rising.
Sun. Yep.
Yeah, let's see. If you're going down the Crossroads, let me know if you know anything. Yeah. Oh, movie Crossroads.
Yes.
Ralph Macchio.
After he did Joni Loves Chachi.
Yes, exactly, and and Karate Kid. You say, okay, so this is this almost boy band type of actor. It's like no, and Crossroads was a very, very, I think, good movie.
Underrated.
Underrated, yeah. Ralph Macchio does almost all of his own guitar work in that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They had Steve Vai as the Devil's Champion. It's like, yeah, go watch Crossroads. Ry Cooder doing blues guitar. Again, it's super brief summary of the plot. Macchio meets up with an old broken down blues man
Who he loves.
Yeah,
His big hero.
Who sort of takes him under his wing and says, okay, you got to bust me out of jail because I have an appointment to keep down at this Crossroads in Mississippi. So he talks Macchio into busting him out of jail.
He's in hospital because he's been injured but arrested.
Yeah. And turns out the guy says, I have made a deal with the devil for fame and fortune, and I want to tell him he didn't, deliver it, and I want out of the contract.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, during the trip down there, it's all about Macchio's coming of age, because before he was this, fresh-faced, guitar student at Juilliard. Juilliard, they don't teach you blues in Juilliard.
Mm-hmm.
And a good movie, a surprisingly good movie.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to know where a lot of the influence for things like Elvis Presley and Eric Clapton, and even things like Led Zeppelin, were heavily influenced by blues. ZZ Top.
Oh, hell yeah. They're a
those.
blues band, yeah.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah. Yep.
They all had their blues was their that and Southern gospel in many cases.
Yeah, Cato, I don't think we're going to see a reboot of Super Chicken anytime soon, because they wouldn't want kids watching things where it's time to drink the Super Sock Bucker.
Yeah, I was
Oh, for Super Chicken Bucker.
out of martini glass.
Yep, or the original Underdog. The secret compartment of this ring I fill with a PCP Wonder Dog energy pill. So you pop pills to become invulnerable to bullets.
Yeah.
Like I said, that works with angel dust too.
Yes.
And ketamine, horse tranquilizers. Mm.
Yeah.
Baron Automatic versus Baron Engel. Begin. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, I remember growing up watching some of that stuff too. It was kind of.
Yep.
I go back and I watch some of it now. And go, it was a simpler time.
Soon, Cat's Boss, soon.
Yeah.
We're on a roll. So Lego, tell us about your brother sending turkeys into orbits.
Okay. This I need to hear.
Yeah.
We need to know how turkeys end up in orbit.
Yep. Yeah, Forbidden Planet, fantastic even after 60 years. Yeah, and so is the War of the Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Independence Day was not a bad War of the Worlds equivalent, kind of, but the 50s War of the Worlds, that's classic.
And besides that, for me, it was great because it had beautiful stock footage of the YB-49 Flying Wing jet bomber.
Yep. Oh, Muscat's Moose and Squirrel. True story here. You want an old man story? Here's an old man story. I interviewed a while ago with a company that they make management hardware and software for VMware servers. At the time, there were a bunch of ex-VMware engineers decided to strike out on their own and do their own thing. So I interviewed, and they wanted me to be their quality guy. And they had 4 engineers at the time. And their names were Boris, and Natasha. I kid you not. They said that I would have to change my name to Boris. But I said, if I come in, I will be moose and squirrel. They got it. Yeah, unfortunately, even though they offered, I decided I wasn't a good fit, and for their own good, they needed to get somebody that was better with VMware than I was. I mean, nowadays, today, it would be, just drop right in. VMware is half of what I do. But yeah, Boris, and Natasha. No kidding.
I'll have to agree with you on that, Rebel Squirrel. UFO was a greatly underrated TV series. It was one of my, along with Thunderbirds, Fireball, XL5, Captain Scarlet, and Mysterions. Those were all very influential to my youth.
Ah, that's the frozen turkey. That's the turkey into orbit story. Put a frozen turkey into, say, into a deep fryer with the oil already at its flash point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully, no one came away with third-degree burns.
Is there a YouTube video? I'd love to watch. Now, I deep fry my turkeys, but I know how to do it right. Yeah. Biggest thing is like pat the turkey dry. Make sure there's no liquid inside the
body cavity.
Yeah, and lower it very slowly.
And pat dry, then pat dry again. Oh, and then pat dry one more time.
Yep.
Because you've undoubtedly missed something.
Hey, 7 cents.
Hey!
Yeah. Oh boy, orbital Christmas meat. Santa got shot down by a turkey. Cruising over my house Christmas Eve. Ah, I see. Ah, Holy Macintosh. Are you new? If so, welcome. If not, welcome back.
Yeah.
And why are you so holy anyway? Tell us. Tell us all. Let's see. Anybody else new?
Yeah, don't overfill the oil. That's the other thing. Yeah, figure out how much
Yeah.
space you're going to have for the turkey in the deep fryer.
Yep.
I've seen that one too.
Yep. Oh, Jareth, we do brine. So we do indeed brine the turkey.
Yeah, Jareth knows how. Copper Cheetah know how to do an excellent hard deep fried turkey as well.
Yep.
I've had theirs. It's tasty.
Yep. It's good stuff. Oh, Prawa, just to quickly recap, I interviewed at a company that was a very small company, had 4 engineers, and their names were, no kidding, Boris, and
Boris.
then Natasha. This is a reference to, the thing is that there was a TV show called Rocky and Bullwinkle that was made during the 60s, a lot of Cold War humor. And the bad guys were Boris Badenoff and Natasha No Goodnick.
Which was actually a parody of Boris Goodenough.
Have I seen the William Shatner deep fried turkey video? I have not.
Just over, excuse me, Kiwana. Basically, this is a Patreon reward for someone. Of course, I've been doing a series of Anthro MLP mares in bunny suits, and someone asked me to do very much a Tiny Toons Bugs Bunny Does Drag of someone's character, R.E. Coyote, in a bunny suit as well. And we should probably actually do our hourly duty.
Yeah, we do indeed have a duty here.
Duty.
Yeah, so I'm going to take this moment since there's a gap while we catch our breath.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to click on this, because University Art. Okay, we're done. Okay. University Art is a high-end art supplies store and framing shop with branches in Sacramento, in Redwood City, and San Jose, California. They do museum-quality archival framing. Your artwork will still be just fine, 100 years after you are dead and gone. Isn't that a comforting thought? Their sales staff are not on commission, but they are all artists, so they will give you the honest opinion of what you might need. Not the most profitable thing, necessarily, but the
With
right
their paycheck.
tool. Yeah, but the right tool for the job. Again, they have seminars, they have demonstrations, they have craft fairs, they have workshops, and once in a while they actually loan us some of their employees to be guest artists.
That's right.
And if you remember Jaya King, or if you remember Jeff Braunschreiber, they are both, or were, in case of Jaya, she's gone independent just like Baron has. They're both university art people. And University Art put up with Baron for 20 years. Oh my God.
Yeah. They deserve to be rewarded for that, if nothing else.
Exactly, the patience of the year. So we want to say thank you to them for sponsoring Baron. They keep him well supplied with art supplies and help make all of this possible. Thank you, University Art. That will be all.
By the way, Seven, good to see you. seen you in the chat for a while. At least if you've been here, sorry if I missed you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I've inspired you to start drawing again.
That's the biggest reward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that means more great art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks, engineer. I will watch that later. Let's see. So back in the days, early 80s, local area retelecast on TV Star Blazers and late 80s, early 90s Robotech. Let me tell you, for me, when I was a tiny little Caradwin, it was Speed Racer, and it was Kimber the White Lion. That was the shiznit.
It was Speed Racer for me, but I have to admit, Robotech is what got me into the anime genre. I had seen the stuff before, like Speed Racer and Kimba and Battle of the Planets, or Gatchaman as it's known, of which my wife is going through and she's watching Gatchaman on High Dive, and they've got dubbed, and it's not Battle of the Planets, it's actually Gatchaman, and wow, we've come so far. Of which Engineer Sam has showed it to us, Cat's Paw and I. If you folks have not seen Space Battleship Yamato 2199, you need to catch it. If by any chance you saw the original Yamato series back in the 70s, it is a wonderful tribute to it. And just, wow. It has come so far. How'd the barbecue go for you, Colonel? Yeah, Robotech. And the funny thing was, I bought a book when I first moved up to the Bay Area. It had a whole bunch of Macross artwork in it. And it was all in Japanese, and I had no idea what the heck this was all about, but I knew the artwork was awesome, and I wanted to learn more about it. And then one day I came home from work. It was in the late afternoon. And I turned on the TV, and I caught the very tail end of this episode. I'm like, wait a minute. That's stuff from my art book. What the heck is this? I gotta watch this tomorrow. And that's how I discovered Robotech. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's true. Crunchyroll now has Space Battleship Yamato 2199 up too. Oh, darn. Once again, I thought this was one of the kids. Oh my gosh, I'm going to run out of time. Oh, wait, I got a little more time.
So there. Music. I made the music. I made the sound.
It's awfully atmospheric.
Anybody remember Biker Mice from Mars? I know a couple people that think that Biker Mice from Mars was the greatest show in the history of anything. I don't quite understand them, but it was a fun show.
Yes.
Carol Burnett show, best TV show ever. Yeah.
Yeah, Zarn Cross was one with the hover tanks.
And Mos Pieta, with the cyclones. Yeah. And of course, I wasn't so much into the series, but there was an anime, Megazone 23, that I really liked.
23, yeah.
Yeah. Not as in general, if it isn't Tezuka and it isn't Miyazaki, I'm not that familiar with most anime. And some people argue that Miyazaki is kind of its own genre. It's halfway between Western animation and anime. It is different.
Yeah, and for me, I always find those kind of categories really kind of silly. For me, it's like, do I like it? Yes. Is it good art? Yes. Is it a good story? Yes. Is there an awesome soundtrack to it? Hell yes. Okay, fine. I enjoy it. Call it whatever you want. I don't care. I'm liking this.
Nazumi 4077th. That was the medical
MASH.
battalion in MASH. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
The MASH
remember.
477th. Do.
Radar O'Reilly was my soul brother because I was a nerd and he's a nerd.
Yep. We also understood how the bureaucracy worked.
Exactly.
Now, please sign here and here, Colonel. I need you to sign here and here and here. Thank you very much. What did I just sign? Never mind.
A cartoon set in Chicago.
Well, that'd be, there was Gunsmith Cats.
Yeah.
Kenichi Sonata was huge, and I think still to this day he would love to retire to the west side of Chicago.
Emergency. Don't get me started on Emergency. I loved that show.
That was one of your first crushes, wasn't
Yeah, I was one of one of my very first man crushes was Randolph Mantooth. Now that was one of those shows that changed everything, because the reason you have paramedics today is because
in most communities
is Emergency, because that TV show aired and it showed this weird thing called paramedics. It used to be ambulance drivers showed up, slammed into the back of the ambulance, and drove as fast as they could. And this idea of field medical treatment was just weird. People started watching Emergency and they said, paramedics, does my community have those? Hey, I'm going to call my fire department. Do we have paramedics?
we don't.
We don't? Let me call the mayor instead.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't we have this?
Yep.
And now everybody has paramedics and a bunch of lives got saved.
And a whole bunch of people got exposed to equipment for the first time in their lives watching Emergency.
Yeah.
All the stuff that happened on that show was new.
Oh, Ari, you and I just totally reach on Min May. I did not like Lin Min May. Like, oh, we're all gonna die while she sings. Okay, that's an equal trade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I remember seeing that briefly.
Here's a cold story. My dad wanted to be a fireman and a paramedic because of that show.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, it's kind of like the number of people who decided they wanted to go into science careers because of the original Star Trek series.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have to wonder what kind of impact My Little Pony is going to have on people as a show years later.
Well, again, as I mentioned earlier, in the show here today, one of the guys that's sitting at my D&D table on Saturdays was a friend from 25, 30 years ago back in college. Yes, it's been that long. And I say what prompted me to get back in contact with him was the episode of Mending Fences, which is all about reestablishing old contacts, which is not exactly something that most 7-year-olds need to worry about. Yeah, that was a show that was aimed squarely at the parents. And so, like I said, I have rekindled an old friendship because I was prompted to by a show about candy-colored horses. So yeah, thanks, M.A. Larson.
Yeah.
So.
Larson.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually had to evac for a while.
Yes,
yeah.
he did.
He's back now.
He's safe.
Yeah, and his house is safe too.
Yeah, he's safe. And like I say, as we said earlier, the Silmar Wildlife Center is safe, which is good.
Yep.
Because having to do evac of that would have been horrible.
Yep. Yeah, Sean, that was the only thing that was good about about Magnum PI was the Ferrari. Actually, I got to drive a Ferrari 308 once because my mom worked as a bookkeeper at a Ferrari dealership, Gino's Auto World. And later on, as I got to drive a Ferrari F355, because a friend of mine is part owner of an exotic car rental business in New York, performancerentals.us. And they don't do flappy paddle things where you show up at your high school reunion and pretend that you drive a Ferrari every day. No, these are track cars that are only barely street legal, and that's only because they're registered in the state of Florida, which doesn't have much in the way of equipment laws. So, if you're looking at basically a track car that is only street legal, if you squint at it real hard, 6-point harnesses, manual transmissions, lots of performance mods.
Onboard fire extinguishers.
Onboard fire extinguishers. They do put a nice stereo in them.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, performancerentals.us.
Yeah, I mean, the swankiest thing I ever got to drive was a 2005 Mercedes-Benz CL55 AMG.
Oh, the old Hammer.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. It was like having a nuclear power plant for your power supply. You just, there was no place I was able to get and point it where I could feel like I was outrunning the engine. It's like, forget it. This thing would just keep torquing and running.
Yep. That's right, Cato. Baron did indeed draw something emergency related. He did Johnny Gage as a pwn.
Yep. There should be a link to that up on my DeviantArt.
Yeah, he put up. Cato was
yeah.
Thank you, Cato, for doing that. Yeah, so, Orca. Both of Orca's parents were EMTs.
Oh.
In Cypress, Texas. Yeah. So a little bit of personal touch that drawing has for Orca. Yeah. Flappy paddle. Automatic transmissions that you can shift gears with there's on the back of the steering wheel, you have the steering wheel, ring, 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 like that. And on the back, there's these big levers, that are sort of paddle shaped. And you just go pop, shift up, shift up, shift down, shift down. Floppy paddles. It's basically that's for computer controlled transmission.
Originally developed for Formula One racing.
Right. Yeah. Because clutches were too damn slow.
Yeah.
And
you couldn't take your hands off the wheel either.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Well, there's no room.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, flappy paddles is the nickname for them because a lot of people get flappy paddles for their street cars, and they use them exactly once per friend that they show off to. Otherwise, they leave the car in automatic transmission mode. And frankly, the computer is better at managing the transmission than people, except for the very high-end racer types. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Now, my Mustang has an automatic transmission, and I do miss manual transmissions, but it's a good automatic. It does what it needs to do.
At least it clocks in for the shift and does its job and collects its paycheck.
Yeah.
And of course, the important advantage it has is it has so much torque that it really can. Okay, a downshift might have been optimal here, but I got enough torque simply to solve the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, there's no replacement for displacement.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, also, too, you get your torque at a much lower RPM level with that V8. You get in those areas where you really suddenly do need torque usually. It's like, okay, I need to move now. And I'm maybe not going all that fast, but I need to get up to speed quickly.
Yeah, well, what it means is that you have a fourth escape direction, and that's straight ahead.
Yes. All right, well, this is actually moving along fairly well.
Yep. Ah, yes, The Muppet Show. God, that was...
I need more brain lubricant.
Back when the original Muppet Show was going, that was the show that everyone wanted to be on. I mean, you got Union Scale, you got a jacket, and you got a little stick pin that had Kermit the Frog on it. And everybody wanted that stick pin. Because the thing is that when you went on the Muppet Show to be a guest, the puppeteers, Muppeteers there, would have, like Jim Henson would have, Kermit, Kermit the Frog, on his arm, and it was just, they were always in character. And when you talk to Kermit, even though there was Jim Henson with his arm, right up Kermit's backside, and you could see him right there, and he wasn't doing the ventriloquist talking out the side of his mouth thing. You were talking to Kermit the Frog, and Kermit the Frog was real, real, real. And they loved that.
Actually,
I love that.
I want to ask Ari a question. You say you want to drive one of Musk's electric trucks. Actually, Ari, since I know you were a professional truck driver at one point, so you really think that Ellen might have something with that electric truck idea? I was kind of looking at it going, I wonder what real truck drivers think of this whole idea of his.
The electric truck?
Yeah, his electric truck idea he's proposing.
Will certainly save a lot of fuel. Save a lot of fuel. Building the infrastructure would be interesting.
Yeah, because you'd have to figure out some way to be able to charge those batteries fairly quickly. I mean, yeah.
Well, you do the exchange of the battery.
Right, but you have to have that all set up.
Yeah, again, it's a tremendous job to build infrastructure for that. The thing about trucking, though, is that it tends to be on well-known routes.
Exactly.
Yeah, or at least, the core trucking. I mean, the branch stuff to go, the last mile type of stuff.
Uh-huh.
You would go from a local depot to, to the loading dock. But
well, apparently they're doing some stuff where they're going to be able to recharge the lithium-ion batteries much faster.
Yeah. Well, that's all about just monitoring them and saying, okay, what can these things take, and then the battery telling you, no more.
Yeah. Significantly cutting down the time.
Yep. Yeah. Generic, I can see how you might develop an aversion to manual transmissions that way. I lived with manual transmissions for 30 years plus. It's in fact, my Mustang is the first automatic transmission car I've owned since my Duster.
Yeah.
And the Duster died in 1983. Mm-hmm. I killed it.
I killed it.
Have you heard that Volkswagen is bringing back the Kubelwagen as an electric vehicle? Why not?
Yeah. It could happen.
Yeah, Kato, and there's actually quite a few countries that are looking at, at the same sort of thing. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, that's something that could easily be preempted by the feds, but they can certainly say no more sales.
Mm-hmm. It will be one. Of course, all this is going to matter. You're going to have to change over the infrastructure. That's the big thing. But I mean, we 100+ years ago, we made a change. We moved from a horse, basically organic power system and steam to this, fossil fuel. So, about a century later, time for another change.
Yep. All technologies have a half-life.
Yep.
And Rebel is curious to know just who is Ari looking at off screen?
Well,
Who's getting that look?
Well, what I'm figuring is this would be a wonderful beer. Can you bring up the Perry picture?
Perry.
From earlier from the artwork. Thanks, but.
Thanks, but yes, I can. Let's see. Let me see if I can find this thing here. I will do this, and I will do properties, and we'll do this and that. A little bit of this goes a little way of that. Let's go to, yeah, there we go. There we go. I'll put this, I'll unlock that, and I'll put this over here.
See, guys, this is why it's great having, Carrot One, because I can keep drawing, and Carrot One here can make things. But I kind of envision these kind of being side by side with, the two of them kind of. So, do I look fetching, darling?
Like that.
Exactly.
I was cured of manual transmissions one time when visiting New Zealand's mountainous regions. I had to change gears a million times. That's the part I like best.
Well, a lot of it depends on whether you have a good clutch and a good transmission.
Yeah.
My dad refused to teach me how to drive a manual when all we had was his old Ford Ranchero, '63, which did not come originally with a manual transmission. Someone had retrofitted one, and it had to have this homemade shift linkage. And it was apparently a collection of coat hangers. And my dad said it was horrible. He wasn't going to teach me how to drive this because I would learn to hate driving if I had drove that car. So I never did learn how to drive a manual, because then he went and got a Gran Torino, and it had an automatic in it.
Yep. Agnes says when his dad was young, they had Astro Boy, which was very good, and Speed Racer, but they also had Mazinger Z, Moonlight Mask, and Candy Candy.
Mangasar Z, yes. Another one of the great classics.
Armored Trooper Votam.
Yep.
And then there was Toonami, which introduced a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. I'm pretty sure we have some.
Well, what's that expression for, Clear Skies?
Ooh. Brave Burnt, have we seen you before? If so,
No, I don't think so.
Say if so, welcome back. But if not, then just plain welcome.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Say hello in the chat. We're all friendly. We don't bite.
That costs extra.
Yeah.
Hachiko Kai, have we seen you before? If so, well, welcome back. If not, well, then just plain welcome, because that's what kind of people. Anybody else who is new going down the list? I think that's it for this time. So,
Okay.
And again, if you are an artist, feel free to drop a link to your gallery, as long as the landing page is safe for work. Let us know the type of stuff you do. We love to point people at other artists, because the more the merrier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, because folks understand, one of his roommates is Dusty Cat, manliest brony, and I got some of my breaks because Dusty Cat basically turned people on to me. He pointed folks in my direction. So I understand that a lot of this.
Social media amplification.
Yes.
It works.
Yeah, a lot of your success sometimes is not based solely on your talent. It's just getting exposure and people knowing that, hey, you're out there. You're for real. And so, I've been able to make my break, and I'm perfectly willing to help someone else next climb the ladder too. I'm not going to pull the ladder up behind me. There's too much of that happening in the world.
Yeah. I see people forgetting where they came from.
Everybody starts as a beginner. Everyone starts at the bottom. Alrighty. Okay, I got that done. Yay!
Hooray! And you even have a couple minutes left.
Yay! I'm gonna drink.
Yeah, indeed.
Switch cameras.
Indeed. You cracked the code. Baron Engel's a commie. Yeah. That is right. We are Red Menace. Today we are going to take over Imperialist West. You are Western spies.
Yeah.
You do not know how to squat like Slav.
That's right. You have to squat like
Squat on full heels.
Actually, it's funny.
Eat semichki.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny. You practice doing that, and it does help stretch out some tendons.
Yeah, funny about that.
Yeah.
Is Baron.
I've got increased mobility because of learning how to squat. Squat like a Slav.
There you
So
go.
hey.
Oh, by the way, everybody, if you like, say fun, silly, and occasionally useful videos, go to YouTube. Look up "Life of Boris." The guy, the guy's a hoot. Has some good recipes.
Doesn't take himself too seriously.
No, and just relentlessly positive. I love it.
Yep.
So, well, thank you, Von Ark. So again, it's a learning experience, and we're still nowhere near perfect. But on my DeviantArt, I list all the equipment and stuff like that. We've learned the hard way.
Yep.
Lesson number 1: video is easy, audio is hard.
The other thing too is that
these things right here,
Wonders.
the lapel mics make all the difference in the world. That and a decent mixing board. We'll give you a very brief tour, as it were, after the break, because we take a break every hour for 5
we're
minutes.
We're on right now.
Yeah.
In fact, it's 7:29. Let's just break for it now.
All right.
Come back in 5.
See you guys in 5 minutes. Get up, stretch, do things that biological things do. And when we come back, there'll be another Picardo, Patreon award. Or am I wrong?
Nope.
I'm wrong.
I've got some other stuff that is Picardo or Patreon related that I have to do. But most of it does not fall under the completely safe for work. So I'll have to do that at home.
Show me.
Well, I can do is maybe I can start on one of them and then
Switch over.
yeah, I won't finish the piece entirely.
Okay.
We'll do
You'll
that.
leave something out.
Exactly.
All right. We'll see you guys in that many minutes.
See ya. Welcome back.
Who back? You back. We back.
We all back.
We so back. Yo.
And I want to take a moment here to say hi to someone in the chat. I'm sorry if I missed your comment early. Amberlyn Art, glad you could join us.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, they love to have you. Love to have you.
Yeah, she's done several books.
Indeed.
Yes, she's done. JC, if you
Amberlyn, share.
Yeah,
share.
and Amberlyn, if you've got a link to any of your websites or anything like that, please throw it up in the chat. She's done some how to draw manga books. She's done how to draw animal books. We've now have some of them in our library. She actually came and stayed with us for a couple of days right after EQLA.
Oh, okay, that's who that was. Okay,
Yes,
well, hi.
yeah, hi.
Hi. Klingon anime DD not big. Yeah. This is the anime of a warrior. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So, what are we doing this hour?
Well, what we're going to do this hour is, hey.
Hi.
What we're going to do this hour is we're doing our Patreon reward. We're doing something for Tebow. Now, I'm not going to finish all of this picture tonight because it's not, excuse me, as I cough.
Boobies.
Yeah. It's
Boobies.
not necessarily safe for work, but we can get started. It's going to be another one of those people like bunnies and bottles thing, except it's a bit more of a contortionist thing. It's going to be of a character of his, Chandra, who I have my reference on.
The rare pretzel bunny.
Rare pretzel bunny, exactly.
Yeah, and so while you are setting up, as a couple folks indicated, they were a little bit curious about
The tour?
the tour. We're going to give you the real quick tour right here. Let's see.
Like I say, Amberlyn, if you got, yeah, good. Throw that up.
Boing. And I'm going to push this button right here. There we go. That is Baron.
Hi there.
Yep. And all of these curtains here
Curtains.
are, as I say, they're very dense curtains. They do a lot of sound deadening, and also help keep out the heat in the summer. That keeps out the heat in the summer too. Hello, Celestia. And so that's you guys. You see you guys there. That's you guys. And we're looking at each other.
Right there.
Stare down. Yeah. Again, a little bit of sound deadening here. light. And again, this is the encoding computer. Infinite tunnel, infinite tunnel, infinite tunnel, infinite tunnel.
That's why get them all seasick. Great, good job. Now I understand. I haven't done any drinking.
I'm the mature one.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
So, so yeah. So we have a little mixer board where everything goes through. It looks about like that. It's one of those. Works great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a couple of shotgun mics for when we do open sound, but frankly, the let's say the lapel mics work so much better.
Mm-hmm.
So again, a couple of keyboards, and I'll be showing you showing off this thing in a moment or two.
Yep.
This is something that Dusty Cat made for me, and we'll talk about that in just a moment.
I mean, it's basically, it's gonna be bare breast, guys. And you know, some people, I myself don't see a problem. Some people do.
Oh
so,
my God!
Yeah. You're making Sean skunk barf. You know, keep the unsteady cam down to a minimum.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to here, and I'll just push that.
Bloody hell. Wow, look at all the people leaving the chat. Good job. Is this like the time I played Descent with the VR goggles?
Yeah, probably.
Oh boy.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, that was an experience back in the 90s.
Yeah, well, Descent was confusing enough. You know?
Yeah.
You know, and it was complete 3D, full, 6-axis of freedom, and no transitions or zoning or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it was it was really, really easy to get really, really disoriented.
Yeah, and I had these goggles on. Tor bought this set of goggles, and I was trying to play the game. The problem was is if you moved your head slowly, the computer could keep up. That lasted for about as long until the shooting started. Then your head started snapping around like this, and you'd move your head, and then again, about 2 seconds later, the computer would catch up with you. And I don't think any of us were able to play more than half an hour before I was, give me a bucket, I'm about ready to lose my lunch. So, anyway, why don't we get back to this? People are tired of hearing me talk about old video game stories.
All right, and this little bit of goodness, by the way. Mm-hmm. This is a Cigar Box guitar that Dusty built, pretty much from scratch.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only actually, yeah, it is basically a scratch build. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Real as good as Cigar Box.
Yeah, and so again, I'll maybe later on I'll hook it up into the the guitar amp, and we'll blast some 4-string Cigar Box blues.
We'll get the thing and really get some. Of which I am hoping one of the people to have as a guest next year on my stream is one George Rivera. He was the curator at the Triton Museum for a number of years, and actually got me my first break as a museum show. And he plays in a guitar band called Hepcats, kind of rockabilly. And I'm hoping to have him on the show and have him talking about art, because I've learned so much from George. George is an amazing person.
Did Sakana get you on your glass?
Thank you.
5 points for Sakana.
Yeah, the guy gets 5 points.
5 points for Sakana. Neener, neener, neener. Personal music's made public. I never cared that the dual plasma projectors in Descent use more ship's energy than the quad lasers. I love the damage of the dual plasmas. Plus, green stars. Dim stars. Yo!
All I can remember in Descent was you'd run the mission, you'd set off the reactor, then you had to figure out how to get your ass out of the whole scenario you'd gotten yourself into. And the little guide who was supposed to, I'll lead you back. And it's like he would take off at like a zillion miles per hour. Whoa, get back here.
Green flame! What color is the fire? Well, it's kind of green.
Yes.
And prepare to be annihilated.
Now, I'm working pretty fast and loose here, and I'm just throwing down my basic, very, very basic construction lines to get things in place with this.
Dusty made this for me for my birthday. Thank you, Dusty. It actually plays really, really nicely. He did a heck of a job. I mean, he's been working on this in the garage for the past, month. And it started off just as, oh, here's a chunk of, this kind of wood. Here's a chunk of that kind of wood. The finish on it, it's just, again, there's like 10 coats of oil on it. Oh, it's just, it's sexy.
And little the brass, finishing things in the corners, the reinforcers and everything like that. Very, very, very swanky, very well done. Dusty makes and sells his guitars on his Etsy.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's a cat's paw. Make Dusty tell you a link to his Etsy. Yeah. He makes custom guitars now because that is pretty much what Dusty does for a living nowadays.
Yeah. Dusty's like me. He doesn't have a 9 to 5
The motorcycle
job.
industry is going through hard times, so he found himself without motorcycle industry stuff to do, at least on a full-time basis. So he's been making, cigar box guitars and lunchbox guitars. Usually like pony cigar, based, and
doing audio book readings.
Audio book readings and stuff like that. So yeah. He's getting very diverse.
And so like me, he's he's a mercenary. He's scrambling for a buck. Yeah. So if you also link for his audio book, make sure we throw that up in the chat.
Blech. Yeah. So I saw a Virtual Boy at a flea market, but it wasn't interested in giving the bad reviews. Yeah. I can't make 3D, that type of 3D work. It gives me a headache. That's mostly because I have astigmatism in my eyeballs. All right, we shall see you later, Octavia.
Thank you for dropping by.
Master of Variety. Is that the new one, Ari Coyote? You know who's the voice of the Human Emperor, don't you? Yeah, that would be Mr. Delancey. John Delancey voiced the Human Emperor in the new Masters of Orion game. I've got that. I got in on the pre-release stuff and all that, and it plays a lot like the classic Master of Orion, but just with updated graphics, etc. So if you like the whole 4X, explore, expand,
exterminate.
Yeah, exploit, exterminate, genre. It's a good one. The gameplay itself, once you get past the new graphics and the new interface, is pretty much the same as the old Masters of Orion.
But there's a reason why the Masters of Orion is still remembered after all these years.
It's a classic.
Decades in this case now.
Hate transitioning into C.
Thanks, Cats. Thanks for putting that link up. I'm gonna move some tracing paper over here so I'm not smearing or smudging the underdrawing while I work. Am I still staying on camera?
You are.
Okay, good. So one of the other things that's nice having Kieran went here monitoring stuff is if I suddenly start drifting off camera and I can't keep my eye on the chat all the time. So
Then I'll go all El Kabong on him with the guitar. You know, knock him back into play.
That's a good guitar.
Well, that's true. Whatever you say there, Baba Louie. But yeah, so again, I think Dusty's downstairs watching. It's like, this guitar actually feels really good. You know, as far as, you know, just, you know, the fit and finish, you know, the corners are nicely radiused, you know, it feels really good.
Keep up the good work, Dusty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I say a little bit later, so I've got some guitar amps here, up here in the studio. Maybe between, you know, during the next intermission, I'll plug it in and definitely do some terrible things to you guys.
Okay, I need to go look and do. No, that doesn't have what I want. I think you're what I want. Yeah, come on, give me another tab. I want a tab. Tab, please. Tab. Talk to your computer. It always works. It really helps.
Hit with hammer.
There we go.
Hit with hammer, pinch with pliers.
Thank you. There we go. That's what I needed.
Let's see if the wire here gives me enough room to walk over here, put this guitar somewhere safe, because I don't want anything bad to happen to it. Okay, there you go, Mr. Guitar.
You stay put.
Let's see. Actually, I'm just going to set that.
Good night, Rebel.
There we go. Just yank on the cord a little harder. There we go. Set that on the floor right there and not step on it. Grunt, old man noises. You're of an age when you have to squat down and you'll squat down like slop, and you make an old man noise.
Yes. How did Jeremy put, you know, the demographic that makes noises when we get up?
There we go. All right, see you later, Rebel. I'm a bottle dancer. I dance not for money. Oh, wait, just give me your cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a Filk waiting in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to reach over for this, because this gives me my power. Rockstar.
Well, you're not getting to bed anytime soon.
Caffeine doesn't affect me quite like that. Not unless I really, really hit it hard really late.
Okay. I'm getting that age now where I need to watch it, or else it's like, It's 1 o'clock in the morning going, I should be sleeping. I feel like I'm in an Eddie Money song.
Agni's channeling ABBA. Bottle dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17 grams. Yeah, actually, there's another another fellow who's on Patreon, etc. He's really well known, vocalist named Peter Hollins. He's done some absolutely amazing work. What he does is he multi-tracks his own voice. He'll do like 120 multi-tracks of his voice to develop these huge thunderous choruses, and he's done covers of, well, he does a lot of, you know, classic songs, you know, a cappella style, but he's also done, like, you know, the hymn of the Dragonborn, you know. You know, our hero, the Dragonborn.
Is he the one who's done the videos with
Lindsey Sterling?
Yeah.
Yes. And he recently did a compilation of all ABBA all the time. Yeah, and it works because ABBA is all about vocal harmony.
Yes.
ABBA is one of my guilty pleasures. You know, for a while, the number one industry in Sweden was Saab. Number two was ABBA. You know, so you have to have 2 A's in your name and have 4 letters if you're going to be successful in Sweden. It's a rule. But yeah, ABBA owned Europe. You know, they were collectively the Michael Jackson of their times.
Yeah, I remember. It wasn't a big thing for me when I was a kid, but my sisters, they loved ABBA.
Oh yeah. Voulez-vous, take it now or leave it. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, caffeine, I believe. I'm sure Brian can answer this. Catspaw, ask Brian. What is the biological availability half-life of caffeine? I believe it's 4 hours. Yeah, which is basically how long does it take to have the amount of caffeine active in your body? Then you have it again, and you have it again. Yeah, so
Saba.
Saba. Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a four-cylinder car that in order to start it up, you have to put the key in your left ear in the passenger side seat, and then it lights up, and all four cylinders go off in harmony.
Yeah, I have to admit, I loved one person's description of if we made contact with aliens and we sent them the description of what a car was like, and they built it strictly based on our verbal description, that's what a Saab would be.
Yep, exactly. That was how Brian described it.
Yeah. You can tell it was designed by an aircraft company.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the thing is, the Saab Viggen and the Gripen, they're good planes.
Yeah, they were.
They're good planes. They're good enough so that
the Draken was a good plane too.
Yeah, they're good enough that in their era, I mean, the pilot's the difference. Would an F-15 or F-16 be better? Well, all things being equal, yes, but pilots are seldom equal.
Yeah, and of course, F-15 and F-16 are from a different generation. The Viggen and the Draken were from like the 1960s and late 50s.
Yeah, and the other thing is that if you take a look at Sweden's road system, you notice that a lot of the major highways have these weird, every couple dozen miles, like a straightaway that they had to cut through forest, and things like that to do. That's because they're emergency airfields.
Yep.
And there is one aspect of fighter aircraft that is often overlooked but is critical. That's landing gear. Again, particularly on aircraft carrier-based, fighters, you have to slam those things down hard on the on the deck.
Your rate of descent for landing
is very, very high. So this wham. And if you're going to do short field stuff, you also need to have rugged landing gear. And for Sweden, their short fields are straightaways on the highway every few miles.
Yep, that way they get disperse their aircraft in time of conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah, when my dad, when we lived in L.A., he worked for several aviation companies, and I got to see lots of, kind of promotional videos from things like Saab and everything. It was kind of really cool.
Yeah. Frank, Frank Older's comments that Fleetwood Mac is always a guilty pleasure. There is a documentary called Sound City that was made by Dave Grohl, from the Foo Fighters.
Yes.
And there was a studio called Sound City in Southern California that an awful lot of bands got their start in. And Fleetwood Mac apparently formed as Lindsey Buckingham and Mick
Fleetwood.
Mick Fleetwood, met in the lobby at Sound City. What was special about Sound City was it had this absolutely giant mixing board that was hand built. It was like two of them like it in the entire world, and and an awful lot of very iconic albums, were recorded on that soundboard, and the place was getting torn down. And Dave Grohl said, I can't let this, this soundboard get thrown into the junk somewhere. So he bought it and built a new studio around it, and he started researching the history of the soundboard. Who built it, what was so special about it,
where did it come from,
and then all the human stories started emerging. Yeah, this band got started here. Oh, this is where. Oh, this happened here. Oh, yeah, and everybody and all these iconic musicians are like, yeah, I recorded at Sound City.
Yeah,
and it became this big theme, and
you start realizing that a single physical object can have a profound impact on a lot of people's careers. A lot of people's first albums were recorded because of that. I usually have a ruler. Aha! I found it.
You found your ruler.
I found my ruler. Take me to your ruler.
And here's let's bring this all back. Let's bring this all back to us. So in the Sound City documentary, they've moved the soundboard up into Dave Grohl's built a studio around it, and they've tried to reproduce the acoustics of the old studio room,
which might be a lot trickier than people think.
Yeah. Ask Larsus about that. And so he's sitting there and saying, let's jam, let's make a soundtrack, that we're gonna record some stuff in my new studio and sell the album and donate the money to charity. And so he's sitting there, he's jamming, he's playing drums, and this guy comes waltzing into the studio, and they hadn't told Dave Grohl that they had a special guest. You know, the documentarians. It was Paul McCartney.
Uh-huh.
You know, and Grohl's just in a drum, and his eyes get as big as dinner plates. Oh my God! You know, I mean, he just went total fanboy. Oh yeah, and McCartney had with him a 4-string cigar box guitar, kind of like what I was just playing.
Mm-hmm.
Plugged it in, and they just started jamming, and you know, Grohl had this grin on his face, you know, the biggest kid in a candy store smile you've ever seen in your life. You know, really, really sealed the documentary nice. So Sound City, I think it was on Netflix for a while. Go see it. It's a good movie.
Yeah, there's an awful lot when people don't realize, even in this day when people talk about soulless, heartless, you know, entertainment companies and everything, there's still a human connection with the people who do the actual creating. And sometimes the stories, you gain so much more appreciation for listening to an album or watching a movie or, you know, reading a book when you start finding out all
the backstories.
Yeah, even if one author writes the book, it's amazing what you're influenced by.
Yeah.
Navira, are you new?
Actually, I see a whole bunch of new names.
Yes.
Aloria, have you been here before? If so, well, welcome back.
Yeah.
If not, just plain welcome.
Yeah.
Who else do we got? Naviria, yes. Hello,
I think you're new.
Naviria. Michelle, I think I've seen Michelle here once before, but if not, well,
Chime
welcome.
in and say hello.
Well, welcome
Welcome
anyway.
back.
Who else we got here that's new? Who do we got that's new? Okay, that I think that's the badge for this one. Non-vector. Non-vector. Are you new to here? If so, well, welcome. If not,
Yes.
welcome back. And if you're artists, by the way, feel free to put up a link to your own site as long as the landing page is safe for work. We love to find out about new you know, artists who are new to us. Yeah.
Everyone's new at some point.
Yep. Navira's, you know, long-time lurker, first time caller in.
Oh,
Well,
good.
welcome to the show. Yeah.
I'm Baron. That's Tierwin.
Yeah. Listen, I'm the weirdo that's off screen right here. You know, they're telling old man stories.
Play some more music.
Old man stories, those old man stories.
Working on a Patreon reward for. Oh, you're welcome.
Working on the Patreon, going
Down,
down.
down.
Working on the Patreon.
Boy.
Woo, I'd like to sit down.
You know, for years, the only version of that song I heard was the Devo version. I didn't realize that was actually a cover of an old, like, 1920s blues song. And then I heard the song.
Oh, that was one of Leadbelly's, I think.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, this song suddenly just took on a whole bunch of new meaning to me. Let's put some air holes in this stopper here so she ain't going to be suffocating. By the way, Tebow, what was the name that's supposed to be on the tag? I can't remember. If you put in, especially with the spelling.
Tebow's still in the chat, right?
I will check to see.
Yeah, Tebow's there.
is here.
Yeah, so Tebow, I need a spelling that's supposed to go on a little name tag.
Yes.
Yeah, when I had the Fluttershy Discord dream recently, the one that had the Beastmaster picture in it, there was several tracks from the heavy metal soundtrack that basically played during the course of the dream. Patina does a pretty good job of mixing up soundtracks. And of course, she'll just say, hey, I was found in some corner of your subconscious. You're the guy who made it.
Your fault.
Okay, okay, thank you very much. A-L-O-R. Okay, got the spelling, thank you.
Good night, Sura.
Glad you could join us. By the way, sir, before you go, I'll reply to your note you sent me on DA tomorrow concerning that piece. I haven't forgotten about that. Sorry, I haven't got to you this week. It's been kind of a busy week for me. Actually, a lot more busy than I thought it was going to be for this time of the year. But I'll get back to you.
We'll get to them, Dave.
What's that?
University art.
Oh yeah, we'll get to them. We'll make certain.
I'm going to the. You want university arts? University art plug. I'll give you a university art plug. University art. University art in the key of F minor. University art. They have a high-end art store, and they also have a great framing shop. They have art supplies, they have sales folk who know what they're talking about. They are not on commission, so they'll sell you the right stuff, and they know what you need. They do.
Hey, Mike, I hope you're watching tonight. You don't get this kind of advertising everywhere.
They put up for with Barron for 20 years. So they have patience. It's true. It's true. And we would like to say thank you to them for sponsoring Barron, because this helps Barron to do the things that he's doing for you tonight.
Yep.
It's cool.
How much for the bunny in the bottle? Have that one out with Tebow. It's his Patreon reward.
Okay, there. I will stop now. I will stop doing that.
You're being a bad influence. Please continue.
Yeah, okay. Oh, really? I was just messaged. I can't use the pause command. Hey, speaking of ending hour shenanigans, where's Mario? He usually shows up in the
last hour.
The last hour, yeah. So
he'll
this is hour 304. He shows up in hour 404, and he always brings the most interesting questions.
Yes.
We love it. Well,
He's
Mario is a friend of the show.
He's a full-fledged meteorologist.
He is. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's his first love. Is he's a weather nerd. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Frank. I like you, and you are a nice guy, but your singing voice makes me want to shove a screwdriver through my eardrums. Would that be a Phillips screwdriver or a slot?
Yes, or an Allen wrench. If it's a standard, make sure it's a hollow ground. Hollow ground's best.
Oh, bravo. Just spent several minutes trying to turn Fleetwood Mac into a ship between Big Macintosh, Fleetfoot, and maybe one other pony. Well, that would be Tree Hugger. That would be Tree Hugger.
I'm sorry, just the image of Big Mac and Fleetfoot. Practice.
Nope.
Fleetfoot strikes me
Oh,
as
wow, you're bumming me out, man.
I think Fleetfoot is the kind of
Fleetfoot Mac, yeah.
is the type of mayor who would make Big Mac very, very nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, I think actually Toxic has done some storm chasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unlike a lot of storm chasers, if I remember right, he actually had some like real useful instruments as opposed to, I'm going to get a YouTube video and 1 million views.
Yeah. It's like, I'm actually here doing this and collecting science and dropping like pressure sensors and everything like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like Samurai got himself a Logitech C920.
Yeah, that's what is capturing. We use I use a C920 for the overhead cam that's capturing what Barron's drawing, a C930 for here, and a C615 for Barron's face.
I also
have a C920 for the main.
It seems to me they've also fixed finally the thing where we don't lose our settings every time that we end a stream, so you don't have to like reset the color balance every time.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun for a while.
Yeah. One little bit word of advice, DJ, is that if you ever get more than one camera, and more than one Logitech camera, and you want to use both at the same time, make sure that your cameras are plugged into different USB ports. USB ports are on computers happen in pairs. So like one on top of the other. That's the same port. So what will happen otherwise is you can get OBS will crash, or one camera will just go blank, and then you have to reboot the system to get it back. So make sure they're on different USB ports, and you'll be fine. So we've got 4 cameras connected here.
So no using a hub.
Oh no, you never do that with cameras. They have to go directly in. Let's see, where's the? There we go. Click. There we go. Yeah. So camera number 1 is right there. Camera number 2 is right over there. The thing you're looking at it right there. Camera number 3 is right here, and camera number 4 is over there.
I just realized I have a lot more time than I thought I had once again.
Yeah. Oh, T820 Torx. Okay, well, those will give you a nice little Q-tip scratchy feeling in your ear. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
But by the way, Colonel, don't mean to possibly call you out on anything, but when are you gonna do another Twitch stream sometime? I rather enjoyed tuning in for that one when you were doing Titanfall.
Amber, by the way, keep your eye on because once in a while IDW will put the My Little Pony comics into the Humble bundles in PDF format.
For a pretty good buy.
Well, again, they're either pay what you want or like a really low price. I got like 20 issues for like $20. So what a deal.
Uh-huh. I know that's how Catspaw gets all of his stuff now. He buys them as Humble bundles when they come out.
Yeah, it's a really good deal, and usually the money goes straight to something good.
Mm-hmm. It was actually really kind of neat to meet Mary Bellamy at EQLA.
She's a good person.
Yeah, another great artist. And she's done work for IDW. And she's a good artist. She's not quite as well known as some of the other ones, but she definitely does work that is worth noting. And she does the online comic Ah Heck.
The chat stream window disappeared during the intermission video.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So you guys are on intermission too. Go be biological. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see here. I need to click on this thing right here. You don't need to see my ugly face. There we go. And I'm going to click
I will
on
get
this one
some
right
of the
here.
shading done here. There we go.
There. And then there.
Put the tracing paper over here so I don't smudge. I'm working with 2B mechanical pencil lead, so I gotta be careful.
Soft and smushy.
If I put too much pressure on here.
Like my brain.
Yeah. It's gonna go squishy squish.
Like my brain. Tweak. There you go. All righty. Excuse me. So, Sakana says, how are you going to show the thickness of the jar walls?
Gonna be playing around with that, actually. It's gonna be relatively, I'll be doing some things with the shading, which will kind of imply, like right here, how thick the glass actually is and everything.
And you can do reflection spots and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm also assuming that this is actually kind of like super amazing magic glass, which doesn't maybe have to be as thick as it would have to be. And besides that, she's actually rather small. She's not, she's not 5 foot something like she would normally be.
Yeah, agreeing with Cat's Paw here. There's some good stuff there. I really like the Luna Big Mac thing in Friends Forever.
Yeah.
That was.
Even though I still think the Big Mac mini comic is still one of the best things they did.
Yep. Let's see here. Clickety click on this thingity thing. Ah, that's still that. So still eyeballing, peruser of pieces, stuff there. I might want to talk to you a little bit later about getting my my Calvados character done up as a pwn plush.
Well, I mean, heck, I'm getting maybe for the set the tables and everything at concert and have a patina pony plush made. of which I've been playing around. I'm getting better at my digital color, and I might be able to do my Daki finally.
Oh, the
patina Daki.
The life-size patina Daki. It's 8
Yes.
1/2 inches tall.
Yep. Great little neck pillow when you're traveling,
So there. And it will make people look at you funny and then ask you questions.
when you're on an airplane.
Yeah. Well, Agni, take a risk. Let's see what we got here. I'm going back through the list here. Scrolly back. Mana.
Yes, never forget that important half inch. Yes.
Because that's the one that'll get you.
Yeah, the mice were one of the first ones to jump on board with metric because the number sounded bigger.
Tag there. Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you ever get a chance, at a convention, talk to Tony Fleeks, talk to Andy Price. They are
good
a hoot,
people.
and they're good people. They are friendly. They love our ponies the way we do too.
We had a great time, Tony and all of us, going to Medieval Times for dinner Friday night at EQLA. That was a really wonderful evening.
Yep. So battle actually, is it just me or does the bottle have a perspective problem? The thing is, it's a little bit asymmetrical, but then again, it doesn't have to be symmetrical. Yeah.
And since I kind of literally just threw this guy together.
Yeah, and of course the other thing is, this is going to be touched up later on. Yeah.
But besides matchup on there, that's pretty good there, and that you got my vantage point down there, and there's my vantage point going through there.
Peruser says he's out of commission for the moment. Fractured the shoulder a few weeks ago. Did you break your collarbone?
Did you break your clavicle?
Yeah, because Baron broke his collarbone about a year and a half ago.
I'm coming on 2 years now.
Coming up in 2 years, yeah, and he was out of commission for several weeks too. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this: follow your physical therapist's instructions
To the letter.
and it's something you're gonna have to manage for the rest of your life. Sorry.
If it is clavicle, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I broke my shoulder blade in a motorcycle accident, and I still feel it once in a while.
Yeah.
And I got to see my kneecap, another motorcycle accident. And once in a while, that knee is always the one that complains first. Funny how that works. But yeah, again, that's how you accumulate old man stories that you can share with people on Picardo.
Yes, exactly.
How I went down hard in 70-mile-an-hour traffic on Highway 101 and somehow didn't get run over.
Yeah.
So.
Nothing as dramatic for me. I was simply cleaning up my refrigerator.
And then a ninja jumped out.
That's right, and fought me to the death. But I'm still here, so you can figure out what
You
happened
should
to
see
Ninja.
the other guy.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I can relate. It totally sucks when you're trying to sleep. You can't sleep on the side you want, and you end up with those most amazing bruises on your body. I ended up with this thing for weeks. Looked like Peter Parker's Venom suit got like a quarter of the way through the job and just said, screw it, and punched out for the day, and I was left with this kind of black spider web.
Okay, so it looks like it's a...
Rotator cuff. Ooh, those...
Yeah, those are fun. Yeah,
those would be fun too.
Yeah, I still have a rotator cuff twinges. If I reach into the back seat, reach. Oh, okay, I'm gonna be tense for the next few minutes. Hey, I think I see new people.
Oh, lost the fight with the floor.
There you go.
I lost a fight with the shelf.
I fought the earth and the earth won. Yeah. I think I see new people. I see Comic. Hello, Comic. Are you new? If so, welcome. If not, then welcome back. And Holiday Draws. Have you been here before? And Cavix. Have you been here before?
My.
Yeah. So hi to everyone.
Welcome.
Patches. Have you been here before?
Comic. Hello.
Yeah, we got some new folks here. So hello.
Just for you folks that are new, what's going to happen here is at 8:30, I'm going to take a break. And I'll let the cat out of the bag now. For the last hour, I'm going to take a request. Don't give me a request now. Give me the request after we do the final 5-minute break. And I'll draw something from what the audience wants for the last
Yep.
The last hour, and we'll give you the specifics. And there's some rules you have to abide by.
Yep. Yep. Say rule number 1 will be, well, safe for work. Rule number 2 is not your OC. That's not a request. That's commission. And that
Talk to me. I do commissions.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and Baron will be more than happy to, because that's how he pays his rent. So rule number 3: I'll be a good sport if you don't get what you want. But
Also, too, if I
it has to fit into an hour.
Right, and if I do your commission, your
You don't
request,
own it.
You don't own it. You've just got. I drew the picture you wanted me to draw.
Yep.
And I will state to folks right now, I am probably going to be closing my commission docket actually in a little while. I've got enough work in. I got to clear my docket down enough.
We're going to chain him to his desk.
Yeah, basically, I want to make certain I'm not taking on more work than I can't deliver in a reasonable time for folks. And I've got some fairly big jobs lined up for the end of the year and next year. Some pretty hefty stuff. I mean, I've got a cover for a new Roan RPG book with a whole bunch of interior illustrations, and I've got a couple people who are commissioning me for some very, very interesting pieces of work.
I hope mine's one of them.
Yours will be on the docket for that, but I got one guy that's going to be kind of neat. I'm doing something related to Arlington Cemetery.
Oh, that's going to be nice. You're going to have fun just with the research page, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be all done pony, but we're following certain things of uniform and the caisson and everything. It's going to be very, very interesting to do. I got to Annapolis this year. Thank you very much, because Clear Skies took me on a wonderful tour of old Annapolis, Maryland. But I have to admit, at some point I would like to actually get to be on someplace like Arlington or... One of the things about watching Townsend and Sons videos is it makes me so badly want to go back to Williamsburg and things like that.
Yeah.
Spend like a week back there and just explore.
Follow the God's peace with Katuchya.
Well, Webster, like I say, I just realized like today, I never did send Webster his invoice. I need to send him his invoice, so you'll get that tomorrow. We'll get your piece taken care of. You're one of the people that's reason why I'm saying, okay, I've got this job and this job lined up, and so we're going to be taking care of you and get you all squared away. Actually, can you set up a poll?
I would need your keyboard to do so.
Okay.
Because that have to be, or I could log out and then log back in as
Sure.
you.
Would this work?
Yeah. Okay, that would be fine.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see here. How many entries?
2.
Okay, that's
Well, or 3.
Okay.
3 entries. And the question I'm bringing up is, and I'm not going to name names, but last week we put some work up on my Smudge Marks and Engel Works eShop store, and there was apparently something resembling, those feeding frenzies you see when they throw like something in like some South American river where the water's gone down, the piranhas have gotten rid of. Yeah, okay. Stuff vanished off the eShop literally in seconds. And it was literally a case of one person who had something in their shopping cart, and before they could actually check out, someone else had put it in their shopping cart and bought it.
Yep.
And so the question I'm having is this. We are looking at the possibility next year of implementing something with the Smudge Marks Engel Workshop where certain pieces of work will go up for auction, and they'll be up for auction for a certain number of days.
Okay.
And then after the auction expires, they will go into being regular inventory stock items. And the question I'm asking is, even if you might end up paying more for the piece, if it increased your chance to maybe get a piece because it wasn't a case of, well, I have a slow connection to my area, it takes, a little bit longer. Would you get people interested in that? Do you think putting pieces up for auction is a good idea? Or do you think, no, that's a bad idea, because then I got to sit for the next couple of days and watch my bid and everything like that? We're not looking to do this through eBay, because eBay slows everything down, but we now have an option, and we're looking to expand the website and bring in some new possibilities in 2018 for it. And this is one of them.
Clickety click.
Hello, Holiday Draws. Is this your first time here? If so, welcome. My name's Baron. The guy typing on the keyboard, that's Carradwin. We do this every other Saturday night.
There you go.
All right.
So, Baron, how would you buy Baron art? With blood, sweat, and tears. Mostly blood.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, yes, I think it's a good idea. No, I think it's a bad idea. Or 3, I don't really care.
Yeah, well. Here we go. Let's see. Anybody else we have here who is new?
Well, just so you know, Holiday, we're going to be taking a break here in 7 minutes. So we're going to go for 5 minutes. Then we'll be back for the last hour. And for the last hour, I will be doing a request at that time. Don't tell me now if you're interested in putting a request. And we will wrap up the hour that way. And then we're going to be enjoying some of your roommate's amazing cooking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's doing a pork roast sous vide style.
Oh, that'd be so good.
That's where you do the
Vacuum
food in a vacuum sealed bag, and you put it into like 130 degree water, 130 degrees Fahrenheit for like 8 hours, and it comes out so tender that if you look at it harshly, it falls apart. Oh yeah.
But it's not mushy either. It still has definition to it.
Yep. And then if you want like the rich roasty brown crust, you just either sear it really quickly or you take a torch to it and just get just the outermost layer, get that browning on it. Generic, not that I've heard of. In fact, I don't think that's legal in California anymore.
What?
Paying people for blood or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's certainly not legal to do that with, like, say, kidneys.
No.
But yeah, he's doing that and asparagus. They had some really good looking asparagus inexpensively at Sprouts, so I got some.
Yeah, it's a nice small size.
That's correct, Prowl. I put in 2 choices because we were looking for the reason. There's say no because flat rate, or no because auction prices can get insane high.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, whichever one you like best, but you should click yes.
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to collect some information here. There's no right or wrong answer here, but I have noticed that literally I'm putting things up and I'm watching them vanish at the speed. It's like, okay, I got these all scheduled to post at 6 p.m. and barring a hiccup on the server, I'm watching stuff literally go and just disappear before my eyes. And it's like, okay, I think some people are going to be, I showed up like 2 minutes later and everything was gone. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Technology, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, auctions would at least give you a chance at that. Of course, the other thing is that depending on what it is,
the price could go higher.
Yeah. So again, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, and
also there's an instant gratification. I just bought it, yay! Not like I gotta camp my bet for the next 3 days or something.
Yeah. Auctions are dangerous to me. They hurt me.
Yeah, and then they would be relatively short auctions. They're not going to be like a week long or something like that, but just enough time for people to actually, possibly have a fighting chance.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So again, it all depends on what your emphasis is. Of course, the other thing is you can always approach Baron later on and say, "Could you do me one kind of like that, maybe a little bit different?" And that's called commission, and you know what the flat rate on that's going to be, and you know that you'll actually get it.
Right.
So yeah. But say sometimes you just see a piece that speaks to you and says, that's me.
I must have it.
Yeah, and then 2 people decide the same thing, and then there's blood on the streets.
Yeah, and that happened the last time. I know on a couple of pieces, and it was kind of going. I was talking to folks on Twitter and in DeviantArt, and everyone was very very polite and everything like that about it. But I could still tell some people are going, "Damn it, I really wanted that piece." It's like I don't want people to go, "Crap, I'm never going to try buying any of his work because I'll never get it." That's not the answer. Definitely not towards me paying my rent.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I want to help people out.
Okay, well, we got 23 votes in so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to say what the results are just yet.
No.
Yeah.
We'll leave this part unshaded. That's the part we're going to finish when we get home.
Yeah, and again, we have to figure out what to do about, Because usually your bottle dancers are in rounded containers, but well, this is going to look a little different. So
Yeah.
gotta go back to your airbrush books.
Yeah, exactly. Double check my things on thickness of glass and how I'm gonna handle my reflections and everything like that. I'll put all that stuff in. It's like 827 now, so.
Yeah.
Well, also one of the reasons why we do them is batch bulk loadings is that if right now the way it works is if you buy a piece and check out, you're gonna get charged for shipping. And if you buy another piece and check out, you're getting charged for shipping. So we're trying to set up so if someone goes, hey, I want to buy those 3 pieces.
They only get charged once.
Once. As it is, we've got one gentleman from the Great Britain who we're working out a refund for him so that because he bought 2 pieces and said, oh, wait a minute, I want to buy this 3rd piece. And he's already paying like 90 some odd dollars in international shipping. I don't want this guy to go broke over this.
Yep.
That's no good.
Yeah. Yeah, so when that is true, it does tend to favor, overpaid Silicon Valley engineers, which is why Baron mentioned he would do this with some of his pieces and not others.
Right.
Yeah, again, spread it out, just different methods, a little bit, for everybody.
Yep. That's.
All right, see you later, Mick 81594.
Mm-hmm. Take care. Gotta go for lunch. See you later. Okay, that gives an idea where he is.
Yeah, pretty much. It's that actually would be Australia?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, that's part of the thing, Sylvan, is I want to make certain that, people can get a chance to get my work. Yeah, I like having repeat customers and everything, but, I know it's like to be on tight budget and be looking at something like, I really want that and I can't afford it. It gets very, very depressing at times. So I like to try to make my work, at all different tiers of availability.
Yep. So I understand Deathlight. So again, I once got told oh, your blood. I was actually going to donate a kidney to somebody, and I got told your blood sugar is too high. Well, as it turns out, they were using those Theranos machines that are inaccurate. The ones that they say that that company is in huge trouble over. Because my blood sugar is just fine, as I've had it measured, several times since, because that was a point of concern. I said, you're pre-diabetic. I am. So I went to my doctor. He checked it. He sent me to 2 different labs. I bought a home, blood test machine to test that, and they were all saying, your blood sugar is great. So the transplant team was relying upon a faulty machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the meantime, the guy got a kidney, so it was great.
Yeah.
But so they have your best interest at heart.
Yeah.
They really do.
All right, it's 8:30. Let us switch channels.
I'm going to push this button right here.
You push the button.
I push the button.
Right. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deathlight. They tend to use those stupid body mass index charts, which are one size fits nobody.
Yeah.
So it's just a shorthand.
Yeah. Now, as it is, it's interesting that now I fly a desk for a living. I actually have to watch more about my health than when I worked retail and was on my feet for 8 hours a day and was unloading trucks and everything. So
yeah.
I have to get out and do a lot more walking, and I have to go do a lot more, watch my diet and how much I'm eating.
Because it watches you.
You, exactly.
And me too. Well, there we go.
And I want to be doing this for a long time.
Ooh, what does this button do? That is a history eraser button. But we're never going to find out what happens because you're going to guard it,
right? Okay, going to take our last 5. When we come back, we'll do a request for the last hour.
Be thinking about what you want. Again,
don't say anything in the chat right now. If you say it in the chat, we're going to ignore it.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah. All right. See you later. Woo!
Right.
In 5 minutes. Woo! Go be biological. Woo! Welcome back, my friends. Welcome to the show that never ends, except at 9:30 when it will end.
It ends dinner time.
Yeah, indeed.
Then our show starts.
Indeed. All right, ladles and jelly spoons. Guess what's going to happen now? It's going to be request time. Rules of the request. Rule the first.
Don't say it yet. Don't say it yet. Wait till you hear the
rules. Rule 0. Rule 1 is safe for work. Rule 2, it has to be something he can draw in about an hour.
Right.
Rule 3, not your original character. That's called a commission, which he'll be very, very glad to talk to you about afterwards.
And Continue.
Rule 4, be a good sport if, say if you don't get yours. Rule 5, you don't have any ownership of the piece. If you want to buy it, you can do that later on, but he drew the picture for you, but that doesn't mean you own it.
And if you see something, oh my gosh, I really like that, and you shout in the chat saying, I want to buy that, I want to buy that, I want to buy that. That's all fine and good. That doesn't count as closing the deal.
There is a link in the doobly-doo underneath the picture there, that the video here that talks about how to contact Baron. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Even
If we acknowledge you in chat.
Otherwise, there's hurt feelings and things like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, are you guys ready to give your suggestions here? Let me click this out of the way. All right, so.
Oh, which we do have the poll still going on.
Yep, indeed. Put in your opinion.
Yep. We do. Actually, we want your feedback.
All right. Yeah, I'll give you feedback. Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1. Suggestions, requests, command.
Show it to me.
All right.
Give it to me.
Oh, by the way, hello, horse.
Yes.
Ruby Pone, Luna as a griffin. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Sexy Sunshine Simmer, non-EQG, wielding a gun appropriate to her personality. Human sassy saddles with a denim mini and high heels. Granny Smith or Winona in a bunny suit. Bravo.
Viper in a bunny suit.
Patina as Miss Kitty Mouse from The Great Mouse Detective. Draw Disney's classic Reluctant Dragon. That character is a rarity. Patina's Bad Fur Day.
I might have to deal with that myself.
Your OC sitting on the nose of Grumman F-14 Tomcat. Princess Big Mac checking themselves in a mirror. Yeah, I can get behind that. Scootaloo on a suicide snow sled run. Twilight chasing snakes. Basil from The Great Mouse Detective.
Carousel bathing.
Melody from Athens in a naughty Santa outfit. Sea Swirl Pony in a dolphin costume. Carousel bathing. Woo! Christmas Derpy with a wreath around her neck and a candy cane in her mouth. Oh, that's cute.
Yes,
Princess Luna as a Can Cully style ship girl. Although actually, right now, NC Mares is working on exactly that. A sea pony, a princess or griffin doing silly bird things. Princess Luna visits Cupcake Corner for a snack or a drink. Female Anthrobat pony dressed as a Batgirl. Nurse Octavia. Mouse Patina trying to fire a full-size 1911A1.
She can pick it up.
Basil the Great Detective.
Dang, folks are look, that's stuff flying by. You guys are Nurse Octavia.
Derpy putting on a bunny suit.
Would that be Anthro Nurse Octavia? We need to get that clarification.
All right, give us that Angel Bunny and Bunny suit. Didn't bunny suit last week. That Luna Griffin sounded neat, which is true. Sam Elliott or John Wayne Ponified, a young granny, a Dusty hat wearing a bunny suit.
Yes.
Dusty suggested Princess Big Mac in a bunny suit. There we go. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Dusty, your guitar sounds really good through an amp.
Yes.
Rosemary in a holiday outfit, Nurse Octavia, Abdul, I always favor that, giving advice and showing off for bottle dancers, like this.
Yeah.
Pegasus pony riding a Segway.
Okay, I think the requests, we've had like multiple requests for Nurse Octavia.
Celestia is drawn by Don Martin, a mad artist, with sound effects. Yeah.
I don't think I could, I would have to take time to study.
Mrs. Brisby from The Secret of Nim.
Okay, we've got multiple requests for Nurse Octavia.
All right, so Nurse Octavia it is. All righty.
All righty, the public has spoken.
And Octavia says Anthro. Well, again, that's, that's from the source,
Ask Octavia. Now we change glasses so you can't yell at me.
Don Bluth, Big Mac in armor. Oh, so great big lower lip. Yep.
Ricardo is angry.
We'll give it a spanking because it shouldn't be fussy.
Yeah, send it to its room. Don't give it any dessert.
Yeah, so, okie dokie.
Right.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, Webster, I'll have to draw Princess Big Mac myself. Well, good. You just do that, and you share it when you do.
I'm going to do...
the lighter side of princesses.
I'm going to be doing...
that was Dave Bergen.
I'm going to be doing Dave Big Mac in a Chippendale outfit.
That works for me.
That long of Brayburn.
That works for me.
Yeah.
Although Brayburn, he goes in French maid.
Well,
this family is here. This here outfit right there, and it helps keep me clean. Why are y'all looking at me like that?
Yeah, well, I'm doing a maid series too.
Hello, nurse.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to actually turn this on because I am going to be showing off, say what the piece of work, what Dusty did done, dude.
Done, dude.
Yeah, he done did that. So I'm going to see, where is that? There's the main camera. There we go.
Make that head a little smaller.
There we go. That's, whoop, this one right here.
Don't drop the mic.
Yeah, there you go, clunk. And let's see. She got legs. She knows how to use them.
If that's too loud, folks, let us know.
What's this getting? It will be picked up through the mics. But yes, they do let me know if you can even hear the music or if it's way too loud.
Yeah. Captain Jean-Luc Picardo. Good one, horse.
Yeah, agreed. Play classical gas. No. Is that like Caradwin farting the Fifth Symphony? Poot, 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 poot. Big Mac in a Hooters outfit.
Maybe AJ in Hooters outfit. Smoke on the water.
Off topic, but I just realized it's snowing outside. It hasn't snowed in this part of England in years.
Yeah, where's it?
Well,
Oh.
yeah.
Where-
That's usually just rain.
Yeah. What part of the, if you don't mind me saying, Andy Carrot, what part of the UK exactly are you in? I know I've shipped to you before, but kind of context as far as where on the island. In southern England, northern England, Wales.
Let's see what we got. Make it so. Nope. More realistic. Play a simple chord pro and pretend to be a songwriter to get girls. Yeah, well, oh yeah, let me tell you, that works real good.
Yeah.
Let me change to a little bit different soundscape here. I'm putting this through my cheap amp. Oh, so if I go to... how about...
And Toxic Mario has arrived. Oh.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yo,
Oh,
hey, there's a little feedback for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see that's starting to get a little bit, you know, Offspring sound, Green Day-ish.
Yeah. Let's see. There we go. That's a little bit calmer. Sorry about that, guys. Woo, squeal. Has someone ponified Tarantino stuff, like, say, Hateful Eight? Well, all you got to do is just like draw a big pile of meat.
You see where he's being potentially being considered for the next Star Trek movie?
Who's that?
Tarantino. Yeah, that was my response.
We did it just for you, Toxic. Yeah, that was some pretty impressive feedback. Impressed with Lucy Lawless's acting and Kevin Sorbo's. Yeah. I'm just messing around a little bit.
We're playing around with Dusty's cigar box guitar that he made for him for his birthday.
Let's see. It snowed here in Bakersfield once in 1999. Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that winter.
Yeah, it was cold.
Yes.
Oh.
You came.
Cold.
What are you doing?
I am singing into my guitar because it has a piezoelectric pickup. I can use it as a mic. Clunk.
Clunk.
All right, I'm going to stop being mean to you folks. Yeah, again,
Don't be
somebody
mean to
that actually
me.
knows how to play guitar decently, you know, we'll be able to really show this off at some point.
Yeah.
In the meantime, off. There we go. There we go.
Okay. Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
It's time for enemies.
Now we want our money back. What are we doing for Christmas? I'm hanging out right here, and I'm going to be doing a Baron show.
Well, that's Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, I'm going to be. Look, for me, I'm going to be cooking.
Yeah. Yeah. So we.
You cook on Christmas Eve, and I get to cook on Christmas Day. That's my thing. I get to. No one's leaving. I'm going to cook for you.
Yeah.
We're doing
I'll be at somebody else's home for Christmas.
Yep. But yeah, Christmas Eve we're doing a stream.
Yep.
I have an idea. Let's make a Star Trek show where the main characters are horrible people.
Yeah. Kato, no. You need to add a live-action Maress with prosthetic and CGI tail, ear, whisker effects. Yeah, you'd get support on that. Yeah.
Oh, but they are starting. Catspaw, you can correct me. Is it Netflix that has the Star Trek animated TV series now on that you're watching?
Yes, the world's cheapest animation.
Yes.
Yeah, film, was it?
Filmation.
Filmation, yeah. Animation, we had put the character's face in 3/4 of it, just the eyeball, and then we slid the people to the side. We couldn't even be bothered to paint in the whites of the eyes.
Yep. Yeah, Carolyn's cooking on Christmas Eve, and I'm cooking on Christmas Day.
Yep.
Going to be doing a apple cinnamon jelly glazed ham.
Glaze the ham.
Stud with cloves and black pepper and cardamom.
You need to bring some over here.
Okay, I'll bring it over next time. It's good. Folks really love it. It tastes great.
Quiver my lower lip.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. A Klingon-based Star Trek show. Yeah, so it was basically like all of the end of season 4 and beginning of season 5, the redemption arc.
Yeah.
I think it was, or was it 5 and 6? Toxic will know.
Yeah. Toxic knows everything.
Well, again, it's Trek, and Trek is his jam. But say the whole bit about Worf leaves the Federation to go reclaim his family's name. Yeah, that was a good series.
Yeah, it was.
A good series of shows. Actually, generic, the world's cheapest animation was the old Marvel stuff. Which is more or less just animatics.
The Filmation, Superman, Batman, Aquaman stuff.
We're talking about like the Hulk and Iron Man.
Okay.
Iron Man.
It was Spider-Man. That was all.
Stark, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I know? What? Yeah. No, it was again just like the Hulk. Ever loving Hulk. Hulk.
And don't worry, folks. I will put Octavia's eyeballs in.
Yeah. Dr. Bannon, when pelted by gamma rays, turns into the Hulk. Yeah. Iron Man does whatever an iron can. There we go. Now, of course, there was a little bit more animation that went in the old Spider-Man. Those were actually kind of fun. I mean, again, incredibly cheap, but they were fun just because Spider-Man's a smart ass.
And the beautiful thing about the Spider-Man theme song is that you can use it for so many other things. I remember...
Well, that's right. I think it's Foxfire that's the huge Star Trek guy here.
Yeah. Because I remember one time when Smudge was playing WoW, and it was after, like, Party Wipe number 27 or something like that. And I was just kind of leaning over her shoulder, and as she came back and she was trying to get back to where the party was, I started doing Jog of Shame, Jog of Shame.
Look, me, yo, cock, me. There's that me.
All right, let's get those eyeballs.
Cow plops.
Yeah, cow plops.
Yeah,
Click on Cowboys. Pop.
yeah. Frank says he loves how they expanded on Klingon culture in the Next Gen and DS9. That's something that Star Trek did. Michael Dorn did a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like Armand Shimmerman, the guy that played Quark, wrote almost all of the Ferengi culture stuff, including all 300 rules of acquisition.
And there was 300 rules.
And he wrote them down all. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course John Frakes, did a lot of work on extending the Star Trek universe, both behind the camera and in front of it. Yeah. All right, we shall see you later, Mr. Agni.
Yep. Thank you for joining and hanging out. Still on camera, right?
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're pulled back enough so you can see the whole thing. Not a problem.
All right, just want to double check.
Yeah, nine.
Look,
It's Octi, and she got legs, and she know how to use them.
Yep.
And I woke up with Pone.
Yeah, next one I need to do is I need to do Vinyl in her bunny suit with an Octavia plushie.
There we go. Yeah, exactly. Turnabout is fair play. Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah, DS9, first season of DS9 didn't do it for me because that was all about, let's explore, Kira Nerese's Bajoran, spirituality, and that got real old real fast. I mean, that might sustain 1 or 2 episodes, but not a whole season.
Especially if they weren't back to back.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But when they brought in both of the cast members from Next Gen and some of the writers, when Next Gen ended, they brought their A game, and when it went all serial, the whole Founders Wars and all that, you can thank J. Michael Straczynski and Babylon 5 for that, for proving that you can do serial science fiction and you won't lose your audience.
Yep.
So again, JMS and Babylon 5 is indirectly responsible for serialized science fiction. And and again, the same thing happened with Voyager. We had first part of Voyager was Katharine Hepburn in space. Warp 7-year-old poop. And then DS9 ended, and they took the best writers and put them on Voyager, and they turned
her into
Sarah Connor
or Ripley.
Yeah, they let her hair down and let everybody become interesting characters.
Look, she can actually move.
And brought in 10 of 10. I mean 7 of 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, proof that the Borg had assimilated spandex some time ago. So, yeah. Let's see if I do this over here. You guys don't need to see my glyphation because you want to see more art and you want to see yourselves. Weep. There we go. Yeah. It's the only thing you're going to stare at, otherwise the top of my balding head. Oh, I loved Garrick. Garrick was great.
Yes.
And so I tell you, Mark, what was the actor that played Gul Dukat? Mark something or other. Gul Dukat, he was a villain that I thought he was great.
You hate him, but you love seeing him on camera.
Well, again, he's such an interesting character, and he was doing what he was doing
for a reason.
Because he loved his homeworld.
Yeah, he was a patriot.
Yeah, and all the dangers that patriotism brings, but also all of the nobility. So he's a complex character. I think they kind of ruined the character in the last season when they just turned him into a puppet of the Pa Wraiths. But otherwise, again, it was a great character.
I did love the one episode where they accidentally activated the auto self-destruct that Gul Dukat had put into place.
Yep.
And then he shows them, hear my own distress call.
Yep.
How fascinating. And then he tries to leave, and there was like the commander of, who'd oversaw him when he was the commander of Deep Space Nine, saying, yeah, I feared you'd cut tails and run, so I did this thing to the program, you can't beam off. It's like, oh.
Oh, man.
Now I got to solve the problem.
Yep. Now, I know a girl named Octavia, and she does happen to have legs that go all the way to the floor. Yeah, I know what you mean there. Yeah, they did. The Cardassians were at an interesting. Again, they had legitimate complaints. They went in directions that would say that we as modern Western civilization types find distasteful, but they had their reasons.
They were just being evil for evil reasons.
No, they weren't doing it to twirl the mustaches. They were doing it because that was the only way forward that they saw.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it was a.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that Amberlynn is that they took an interesting character and just turned him into. All the complexity went out, and he just turned into a little puppet zealot. It's like they ruined everything that was good about him.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, the character had a traumatic moment, that caused all this, but you're supposed to do that to take the character in an interesting new direction rather than just flattening it. Yeah. He turned into a cardboard cutout, which was sad because it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And Foxfire points out the Garrick and Bashir chemistry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was lovely.
I loved the whole thing when Bashir was telling him the story about the little boy who cried wolf, and at the very end, Bashir gives the moral of the story, and Garrick goes, "Are you sure that's the only lesson one could learn?" And Bashir goes, "What other lesson could you take from that?" And he says, "Don't tell the same lie twice." It's like, oh.
Yeah. So Toxic wants to know which is the worst Star Trek series. I did not like Enterprise.
I did not like Enterprise either.
There was just absolutely no chemistry there.
I tried watching it, gave up. Especially when they started the whole time war thing. It's like, guys, stop, keep messing with your world and your timeline. It's like, really?
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is it almost worse than Lucas. They can't stop messing around with the formula. It's like you've got to establish it, stick to it.
And I feel sorry for Scott Bakula.
Mm-hmm.
Because he always wanted. I'm going to be a captain in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was his. The actor.
Yes.
I think he played Archer. I think was the character's name. And he was so jazzed that he was going to be an Enterprise. He was going to be a captain of a Star Trek Enterprise.
Federation Starship.
Yeah, and what he got was such a terrible adaptation. I feel sorry for him, because, of course, on the other hand, he had already had, a fairly successful science fiction series, so, can't shed too many tears for him.
But still, if it's been kind of like your childhood dream, never do that nostril someplace else. That's a horrible nostril.
Yeah, I watched about 6 or 7 of the Enterprise Amberlynn, and I just gave up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know one of my roommates, Rindis, is... In case he's happened to be tuning in on the stream, I know he's slowly actually grinding his way through it, but it's just like, I can't, just can't get fired up over it.
Yep. My favorite Star Trek's selected individual stuff from Star Trek Classic. Star Trek Next Generation seasons 3, 4, and 5. That was when they were really hitting their stride. Deep Space Nine, basically seasons 5, 6, and I think it went to 7. And Voyager got good, but not great.
Okay, that's true. There is a new series, Discovery, which I haven't seen any of.
Yeah, well, that's the one you have to pay CBS for.
Right.
And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pirate it myself. It's just, we'll wait until it shows up on Netflix. Then I'll give it a chance. But
I haven't seen any of that, so I can't form any opinion, yay or nay.
Well, we have fear from Horse. What is that device she is carrying? It better not be a catheter.
No, it's a clipboard.
It's a clipboard. Yeah,
Which says she needs to give you a catheter.
Yeah, there you go. Ow. Then for the next 2 weeks, it feels like you're peeing sand.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the fun comes.
Now, you can get answers with a catheter. Yeah.
And then they have to take it out.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll skip that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Amberlynn, have you seen Babylon 5? All the way through. Babylon 5 is a science fiction soap opera, and most good science fiction TV series, they are soap operas because they're ensemble pieces and they're serials, and the never-ending story of a quack who's gone to the dogs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And of course, that one of those cases of watching the season 4, you don't really need to see season 5 because they didn't think they were going to get a 5th season, and they kind of wrapped everything up.
Well, we do have 1+ vote on, let's say, for Discovery here.
Okay.
Amberlynn seems to like it, so cool.
All right.
Yeah.
I said I haven't seen
Yeah,
it. So I
is
can't
that a
tell.
lollipop she has with her?
Yes, it is.
Well, in that case, you'd better be a good pony, then you get a lolly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sweetie Belle's going to have a lollipop too, and a really big syringe.
Eee. Yeah.
It's time for your bone marrow sample.
Yeah, it's time for your spinal tap.
Yeah.
Yeah. You say like, Catherine Babylon does need to be seen from the beginning. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
a serial.
Yeah.
You can't, if you dive around it and then say this doesn't make any sense, well, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a serial. And that was actually one of the things that had people so worried about Babylon 5. It was like, unless you come in, in the beginning of it, you're never going to grow your audience. No, people went and traded VHS tapes and got caught up when they got brought into it.
Back when VHS tapes were still a thing.
Yeah. So, you could be blowing bubbles. Yeah, you sound like. That's the funny part. Now, you hear it squeak. Okay. Okay, enough of that. We're going into horror here.
Remember, safe for work, safe for children in theory.
Yep. Yeah, Crusade didn't do much for me. I mean, they're. The thing about Babylon 5 is it was originally designed to be 5 seasons, and they were told partway through, you're only going to get funding for 4. Okay, fine, they accelerated the story, then they wrapped it up, and right towards the end of filming season 4, they said, no, we got funding for the 5th season. Great. Well, so what are you going to do? Okay, we'll do the Telepath War. Okay, that was cool, but it was, really, if you get through the end of season 4 of Babylon 5 and you had enough, just skip to all of season 5 and go right to the very, very last episode, Sleeping in Light, of Babylon 5. Beautiful work. Again, it really brings closure to characters you care about. But yeah. Yeah, the lollipop encourages kids to pay attention to her. The lollipop's location encourages adults to pay attention to her.
Exactly. It serves so many functions.
Still pissed about what happened to Firefly. Yeah, that would be a hard one to sell. And of course, the whole thing with, if I remember right, the movie came out right when Hurricane Katrina was pounding New Orleans flat, so nobody wanted to go to the movies, which spelled financial ruin for the movie. Oh well.
Sometimes,
yeah,
things are beyond your control.
Yep. And on the other hand, Joss Whedon is still out there and still doing good work.
Yep.
So, and of course we got Dr. Evil's sing-along blog out of the writer's strike. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, which gave us
Dr. Adorables.
Dr. Adorable, but it also gave us Geek and Sundry.
Yes, it did.
I think that was where the nucleus of the people who went on to found Geek and Sundry, which is basically Will Wheaton and Felicia Day. That was where they first met, and they said, let's do a YouTube channel for nerds. When YouTube was new, and I don't think it was even owned by Google yet.
Yeah, we should probably do our hourly duty.
Yep. We probably should. Therefore,
After 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, it's so true. Wheat. You know what else is true? We want to thank University Art for sponsoring Barron. Well, what the heck's University Art? University Art is a high-end framing and art supply store with branches in Sacramento and Redwood City and San Jose, California. They do museum quality framing, archival stuff. 100 years from now, your artwork will still look great. You won't. Their sales staff, who are not on commission, therefore they're free to give you honest advice. They're all artists themselves. And they're not motivated to upsell the most expensive thing. They're going to sell you the right thing for you. They have seminars, they have workshops, they have craft fairs, demos.
They're having a holiday sale right now.
And
the great thing about it is at the moment, if you want to escape the insanity of the mall, University Art is a great place to go.
You're not completely overrun there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're kind enough to occasionally lend us some of their staff to be guest artists on Barron's show here. We've had Jaya King and we've had Jeff Bramschreiber, and they're both University Art type people. So thank you for lending us your employees, and thank you also for putting up with Barron for 20 years.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, so
Mike had the patience of a saint.
yep, and Mike and Jeff, who are management at University of Art, occasionally lurk the channel here. So hello.
Yes.
So we shall see you, as the University of Art people, all too soon. Thank you for supporting Baron.
Saw them today. Actually, I was in there helping Dusty with a framing job.
Yeah, exactly.
He
All
didn't
right,
work done.
so thank you to University of Art. Bam, bam, duty done. There we go. Yeah, Dr. Evil. All right, so Dr. Horrible, not Dr. Well, yeah, again, they both had the Manchurian collar, or was it Mandarin collar?
Yeah.
So let's see. It says I still plan to look fabulous in a century. Yeah. Gentlemen, behold.
Of which, great.
Yeah.
James from Brony Thank You Fund
Yeah.
got back to me,
Oh, he did.
and I will be doing a page in their calendar.
Oh, nice.
Next
nice,
year.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Amberlynn asked, it was University of Art where she went when she was there.
If you visited an art store in the Bay Area on your visit, and you went with Smudge, you went to University Art.
There you go.
That one up in Redwood City you guys went to.
Question for the channel. What is the name of Deadpool's unicorn? I don't know. Dead horse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, how's the poll going? Is there any more people putting votes in?
Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Ah. Yeah. Do the University of Art spiel in Collins' voice. Yeah. Oh, precious. Takes us to University Art. Oh, precious. Yes, they have real artists. None of you are hacks, not hacks. Yes, indeed, because the artist stuff is nice and rough.
There you go, folks. He
There you
performs twice live at Flamingo.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you asked for that.
Yeah.
You asked it for us, precious. So, Toxic would like to know if there is one dead TV series that you could revive, and you knew that it was on your word, it would happen, and make it amazing. Which series would you revive and make cool as all heck? Deadpool has a unicorn. Deadpool's unicorn has a name. I don't know. It's in the end credits.
Okay. Let's see here. If there's a series I had to bring back, it only went for one season, and I never saw anything. Does it have to be a U.S. series, or can it be a foreign series?
I imagine it'll be up to you.
Yeah. Could it be like a Japanese series?
I don't know. I mean, Jungle Emperor Leo could be really cool if they did it straight up, as opposed to basically it was a lot of recycled Hamlet, like Lion King. But geez, so many. I saw somebody did a treatment for a rebooted Brave Star that was interesting, where New Texas had become sort of corrupt, and now Brave Star was on the other side of the law. Brave Star and 3030 were now on the other side of the law, and had to take down corrupt law enforcement and corrupt government. Because the thing is that Marshal Brave Star was very, very, you have to work within the system, et cetera, et cetera. Now the system is broken. That was an interesting idea. That could have been cool. And of course, everybody would love to, almost everybody, revive Firefly. I wouldn't do it, but mostly because I'd want Josh Whedon to do it.
Yeah.
Just one. I don't know. Any series.
Because I have to admit, there was anime out of Japan that they made 1 year of, and then they ended the the season on this, like, okay, now things are really getting interesting, and I really would like to see more of this, and there's nothing more, and that's Moonlit Mile. And if anyone else has actually seen Moonlit Mile out there, I would be very, very surprised.
Oh, check this out. That's something that Sunny Starbright did tonight while we were in the background.
Cool.
Yes, I would care
Awesome.
to join you for some tea.
Yes.
Nice, nice.
Well done.
Sweet. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, because Moonlit Mile was really starting to get interesting. And I was like, okay, now the
Good night, Webster.
now the big overarching plot. Spice and Wolf would be a good one too. Yes, that I forgot about that. Spice and Wolf would be good. Mahoe would be another good one. Of course, they're going to finally get back to Gate again. Thank goodness. I'd love to see a second season of One Punch Man, which is supposed to be in the works.
Yeah, Girls with Panza.
Girls and Panzer, yes. Well,
Yeah.
at least the movie has come out.
Yeah.
And the OAVs have come out.
Yeah. So again, I would like to see a quote serious take on. Oh God, you know what I say? What could be say either incredibly cool or incredibly damaging? Would be Miyazaki does Jungle Emperor Leo. Mm-hmm. Miyazaki and Tezuka together. Oh my God, that would blow my brain. I would be an empty skull running around in little circles.
Yes. Yeah, your inner 12-year-old kid go, eee, boom.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't. Has Studio Ghibli ever done a series? I think they've only done movies.
No, the movies.
Didn't they? Or maybe Lupin the Third.
That was a movie. Well, Castle of Cagliostro I've seen. I've not seen any of the series. I don't know if they did that one or not, or if that was handled by a different studio.
Well, Horse. The reason the reason they do that is because there's a lot of scammers try to use the Red Cross's symbology to raise money, but because it's a trademark, you have to treat all infringement equally.
Yep.
You know, again, you can't say we let this go, but we don't let, but we're going to prosecute you on that. You know, at least when it hits a certain scale. So Red Cross doesn't want to lose their trademark. So when something is used commercially in a massive way, like in a AAA video game, pretty much they're kind of backed into a corner there. I'm sure they wouldn't want to, but they got it.
Yeah.
Your trademark law is funny that way. No, I do not want to revive Star Trek Enterprise. Frankly, unless something interesting comes along, like all Klingons all the time Star Trek. This constant, we're going to mess with the timeline again. I'm tired of it.
Yep.
Yeah, they lost me. Oh, Johnny Quest.
Yeah.
Johnny Quest done modern, if it was done right.
But I would want to have it done, period. I think it would be kind of fun to have it done as like it was in the 1960s. It would have a certain look and feel to it, which would be kind of an interesting take.
Let's see. Yeah. Well, no. The thing is on Horse. Again, having talked to the decision maker on this, that would be Mike Vogel. He is their VP of Intellectual Property. Here's the thing: is this one-off stuff like what Barron's doing? That's not a threat to trademark. If you start mass producing stuff, if you do a Kickstarter that says I'm going to make 10,000 My Little Pony dolls and I'm not going to give Hasbro a penny, Hasbro has to crack down on that because Hasbro has a history of having lost trademarks of some of the Transformers because they didn't defend them. Go to the Transformers fandom wiki and do a search for the term trademark, and you'll get this giant article about all that.
And even
they've been just so tolerant. It's amazing.
I mean, and let's put it this way: MK2, Mike Vogel, he follows me on Twitter. He knows what I'm doing. Some of the people on the staff follow my DeviantArt, and they rather like some of it. I can't name names, but they rather like my stuff. It's amazing that they've given us this opportunity
Yeah, and the other thing is that they've figured out what they have to legally defend against and what they don't, and and really comes down to the bar's pretty high.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've been great.
I mean, to give you an example, because I was involved from the get-go, when the Roan RPG was taking shape, Clear Skies, is he still in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Clear Skies can back me up on this. Clear Skies went to Hasbro and said, look, I'm thinking about doing a pony RPG. What do I have to do to avoid running afoul of you guys? And they gave a very simple list of...
Don't do this, that, or the other.
And after that, they basically said, we look forward to seeing what you do.
Yep. Now, Toxic Mario, that's only partially true. The reason why Fight Against Magic was cease and desisted was because people legitimately believed, because it looked so good and it looked exactly like the show style. They said, "Hey, Hasbro, you're doing a fight game? Cool." And Hasbro's like, "We're not doing a fight game." Yeah, but no, you're doing it because it looks exactly like. One of the criteria in trademark litigation is whether an end consumer could legitimately be confused whether something is from the owning company or whether it's a knockoff, and people were legitimately confused. Mm-hmm. Which was the same thing, by the way, that got Janimations on some of his stuff. That and the way that he handled it. Mm-hmm. But at that point, Hasbro, they had turned a blind eye to it. But when somebody else, and it wasn't the people who were doing the not main six, somebody else brought it to that big fight game show, and it got all kinds of coverage. And then the press was saying Hasbro is making a pony fight game. Crap! Mm-hmm. Now we have to shut these guys down. Mm-hmm. We have no choice. People are being legitimately confused. It's high profile. There's no way that we can pretend that we didn't see this.
Yeah.
We've got to do it. Crap.
Because at that point they were doing la 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 la. We don't know anything.
Well, yeah. Again, people at Hasbro were playing it.
Yeah.
But they were officially forced to take notice, and
it sucked.
Yeah, and again, you got to do it because if you don't, you could lose your business. You got to do it. And again. Consumers were legitimately confused because the press was saying Hasbro has done this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those balancing acts. That's why I say I'm amazed that Hasbro has just not said, okay, screw it, we're just not going to play with this. We're tired of this. We have better things for our lawyers to do, and they've let us have such liberty with their property.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's actually something, by the way, Toxic, that is unique to Hasbro. Hasbro is the first major company to do this kind of fandom-sourced, officially approved
licensing,
third-party licensing.
Yeah.
And again, the entire creative community world, the guys with, the big money are watching very carefully to see how it plays out.
Mm-hmm. What is going to be the outcome?
Yep, because sooner or later, somebody's going to do something, and there's going to be a lawsuit, and then we're going to find out, whether Hasbro has made a mistake or has changed the way that forever changed the way that fans and fan artists can interact with big companies.
Well, it's right now we have much more like what they have in Japan with the doujinshi industry, where the fan artists are allowed to create properties and use stuff with a certain amount of freedom that just isn't seen in the West.
Yeah. Well, Japan has different laws.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different nation. Yeah.
It is, but it's very interesting to see that Hasbro is in a way kind of experimenting with that. And
yeah.
I want to encourage them.
The shapeways thing, everything. Yeah, exactly. So Hasbro is being very brave. They are taking a chance. They are putting their trademarks at risk. Mm-hmm. And so far it seems to be working out. But that took a big act of courage.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike Vogel, for having big brass ones.
Yeah, and the other thing, if you want to encourage them to keep making more MLP and doing more stuff like that, go and buy some of the official Hasbro merch.
Yeah.
Because that really, Hasbro's a toy company, and so long as they keep making money,
yep,
they'll let this happen.
Could Hasbro have licensed Fighting Against Magic after the fact? Probably. But the thing is, I don't think Hasbro wants ponies fighting
Fighting.
each other and hitting each other
That's not
as
the
part of
message.
their official canon, as part of their official product line. The other thing is that they have been they may have had they had a license to Gameloft to make pony things, and it may have been an exclusive license.
Right.
So I'm not sure on that, but I'm quite sure that again all of the feedback to the riders has been things like don't show ponies hitting each other.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't-
Because again imitable acts.
And I'll say it just doesn't really fit with the general theme and what they want for the show. I mean, that's the reason I say some people on the show follow me on DeviantArt and they followed my Dreamscape stuff and they've gone, "This is really kind of cool and awesome." No, we're never going to do this in the show.
Yeah.
We're never going to have Apple Bloom
Yep.
doing some of these things. Sorry, it's like,
Yep.
we're cool. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it's exactly toxic. Toy sales, or both of Hasbro directly produced products and of officially licensed merchandise, that is what gives them the money that they can turn around to give to DHX to say, go make more 22-minute long pony advertisements that happen to be really, really excellent.
Yeah.
Again, make them happy that they're doing this, and they will keep doing it. So.
Well, Ari, on that one there, in all honesty, since my wife has actually made some plushies over the years, and I've seen what it goes in to make a plushie. When you see people like Peruse's work, or some of the other, like who did the one beautiful Celestia you have on top of your tree.
White Dove.
White Dove.
Oh no,
yeah.
White Dove and Little Fox.
Little Fox, yeah.
Little Lady Fox. Yeah.
Really, when you start seeing stuff like that, you're not really looking at a plushie. You're looking at a soft sculpture.
Yep. Would you pass me over the Jan Princess next to you?
I can do such thing.
This is this one is an Aurora plushie. Again, it is not the equal of the stuff that that folks like Peruser Pieces do. This was $20. And it's like, this is not bad. This is not bad. Now, of course, if you look at her straight on, she's derped. Derp. But I think the plushes are okay. And what the heck, you can get them for a few bucks there. So yeah. Again.
Yeah, the Build-A-Bears are not bad either.
Yeah. And again, I've got a, I think I have a Build-A-Bear Celestia somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Yeah, we got that kind of.
Well, again, Horse, it's all about mass production.
Yep.
There is absolutely no problem with one-offs and handmade, artisan crafts like people like Peruser of Pieces does.
Yep.
It's all about did you hire a Chinese factory to make 10,000 of them, or did a Chinese factory go and make 10,000 on their own? They're currently having problems with that right now, but again, China is not signatory to certain intellectual property laws, and even if they were, within the country, it's not enforced. But Aurora has made some nice plushies. 40E was making some good stuff. I don't know if they still are. And of course the Thai Beanie Babies. They're $6. So what the hell? There's been some nice life-size plushies made.
I can't say the guy's name because it's still a work in project, but I know that there is someone out there who's trying to make basically a soft sculpture of my Celestia in the Royal Warbarding.
That would be nice.
Including 3D printing all the scale armor and everything like that. And it's I really want to see this guy pull this off. I'm like, dude, this is going to be insane if you do it.
Yep. And Caspar's right. 4 minutes till it is going to be time to stuff faces. And
yes, and I can hear the sounds from downstairs. And we've more or less got Octavia here in place. I might tweak it a little bit more when we get. So why don't we switch back to
I will go click.
Main camera there.
There we go. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Hello, nurse.
All right.
Oh, why must the not end? Well, that's we went through that once, and then Celestia and Luna fought. And then it never ends well.
Yeah. But I'm glad you could join us, Colonel. And I want to join all you guys tonight. Toxic, it's going to be pork roast. And
done sous vide style. We have a sous vide rig. Hi, Dan Bear.
Yes. Sous vide, asparagus, and some other side. It'll be undoubtedly tasty because that's what you're.
And I think there's that giant thing of mushrooms too.
Yes, exactly. So that's really great. Guys, I want to thank you all. I'm glad we had a much better stream tonight. Things went much
more nicely.
smoothly. You know, Picardo held its end bargain. And I want to take a moment to thank all my patrons.
Hi, Rainbow 1 plus 4 plus
Yeah.
16. Hi, Rainbow 21.
We'll
Nerd.
Yeah, we'll be doing this in 2 weeks again. But I want to basically thank all you guys. I want to take a moment. I want to thank all my patrons on Patreon. And once again, just to go through something. Yes, at the moment there's some stuff that's happening. But you know,
It's legit.
it's legit. You know, and you know, Picardo patrons listening to feedback and everything, and things will get sorted out. You know,
Yeah, let's say keep calm and Patreon on. Well, if for no other reason, then there's nobody that even with all this BS, there's nobody else doing anything similar. At least not down at the dollar level.
And if you're not a creator, you may not understand a lot of this. But I actually talk to Patreon on a fairly regular basis, and they have an excellent customer service. They do listen to people. They do get back to you on stuff.
Yeah, it's just their marketing people need to be kicked in the pants.
Yeah, it's a learning thing. So I want to thank you guys, because if it wasn't for my Patreon supporters, I couldn't do this for a living.
Yep. Oh, by the way, Wombo Combo, Amazon.com. Yep. Radioactive shirt is radioactive. This is my third loudest shirt. I have 2 shirts that are louder than
Wombo
that.
Combo, are you new to the stream? We're wrapping things up and everything, but if you're new, welcome. And I hope you've enjoyed it tonight. We're going to be back in 2 weeks, Christmas Eve.
Yep.
It'll be kind of a Christmas special. Going to be doing a little fundraiser thing that evening.
Maybe drinking heavily?
Yes. Well, my wife will be here, so she can drive.
Yes. Do not send us on away missions. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're not beaming down anywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Alrighty, folks. Well, in that case, then we will see you in 2 weeks' time on Christmas Eve. We'll have interesting and fun stuff. Well, it's the 23rd, now this is the 24th. They're close enough.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed this tonight, consider becoming a patron. $1 a month, it makes a difference. If you can't do that, consider maybe dropping a buck or two in the tip jar there.
Alrighty. So we'll catch you folks then later on. Have a great one. Loud shirts. Get some. You'll love it.
Yeah. I'm glad you could join us, Wombo Combo. Also, too, if you want to, you can actually go down to the archive, and you can actually watch old episodes.
It's down below under recordings, I think, or something like that.
Or
it's down
you
there.
can go to the Smudge Marks and Engelworks website, and you can also watch the videos there. My wife's putting them up and editing them, so they're a little bit shorter, so you don't have all the intermission breaks, stuff like that. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Tebow, follow Baron on Twitter. He'll say.
Yep. Bye.